And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 209. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, just in a little bit, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Aliens versus Avengers issue number 2. Then we're going to be talking about the Batman Part 2, as it's been revealed that the script is not done yet. There's more delays because, you guys saw me review Aliens versus Avengers issue number 1, and I just did not have the time to just read and review issues 2 and 3 because this book has been delayed quite some time, honestly. Book 1 got delayed. It was supposed to come on like May. It got delayed to July. Issue 2 got delayed until November. Then issue 3 got delayed until February. And now issue 4 is coming out. I think it's coming out in July, I think. Jonathan Hickman's just been doing so much. He was doing Gods, the Ultimate Universe stuff. He was doing this. He did Revenge. Revenge just wrapped up too.
See, I thought though this was supposed to come out every 3 months. It was supposed to be.
That's what I thought too. That's what it was revealed. It's supposed to be like a semi-annual miniseries.
So I don't know how much delay, but it would be. I think the last book is the one that got delayed the most because it came out February, and then this one's coming out in June.
Good Lord,
number
man.
4. But
what is John doing?
It's not. I don't. I really
him at all. Don't think it's him. I don't.
No, it's not. I know it's not. I think that's just how they want it to come out. That's just my opinion. I do not believe it's him at all.
And I'll tell you guys right now, the trade for this isn't dropping until probably the end of the year, probably around Christmas time. So if you wanted to basically, read all the issues currently right now to catch up, we're only just going to be at issue 3. Issue 4 ain't dropping until July or June, which is
it's supposed to be I think June 21st. But that's the note that it should be May instead of June, but that's how they wanted it every 3 months.
Vishan, what's up, man? Long time no see. How you doing, man? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm rich, good looking, successful. I got 3 different girls that I go between a roster to bang them out. Got a Lamborghini, driving up to Vegas, gonna bang some strippers.
Yeah, everything about that was a lie except he is going to Vegas.
So for those of you guys who don't know, going to the F&T Geeks and Gamers Las Vegas meetup. That's going to be on Thursday this year. I'll be gone Wednesday after I get done with work. We're going to head out. Going to hang out with Iron, Selena, and all the people that I usually talk to on here. Lap's comic fan. He better go next year. He better be at the meetup next year so we can talk to each other in real life. He was ducking and dodging me the whole time. But next year, I'm going to get his ass to go. And keep in mind, they have so much stuff. Your son would love seeing all the comic shops out there. It would be amazing.
And you think if I went to this, I would bring my son or my wife?
Would you not?
Fuck no. Hell no. I don't want my
Maybe
wife
not your son. He would know because the thing is he can't do anything. He's what is it, 8, 7? Yeah, he can't do anything, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I could ask my oldest to go, but he's gonna just laugh at me and be like, no.
How old's your oldest kid? He's 20, you said, right?
25.
He doesn't want to have son, bro, hang out with his dad anymore.
No, dude, I did the whole parenting of I'm not your friend, I'm your dad. Now we did do a lot of stuff together
in real life.
Listen, I wasn't mean like that.
You're mean to me.
We hung. Do you not deserve the
you
meanness?
You yelled at me 2 weeks ago, and you said I'm not mean. This man's gaslighting us.
I never said I wasn't mean. I said I'm not mean to my son. Mean to you, yes. You had me the other week. It got me. That was it. I don't know why. God. And you know what the worst part about it was too? It was about a dumbass fucking Miles Morales. That's how messed up this relationship between me and you is.
I just thought it was really weird. I didn't hate the reveal.
You said it was convoluted. Where I said no, it's not. No, it's not. It doesn't. How?
Oh my God, he's gonna do it to me. He's gonna gas. But next year, gotta come out to the meetup.
Why would I go to that though?
Why not?
I would definitely meet up with you for sure. 100%. I would have zero problem.
We'll be in Vegas. We could we can't do the single guy stuff because you're married. But what we could do is we could get a group together and play basketball with the guys that'll be there. No, Savage Dad's not playing basketball. He's
MSK. We would destroy them.
Savage Dad is not playing basketball. Do you know how like?
Listen, dude, I already know that I would destroy them. Just your blackness alone would rub off.
I would have to warm up. I haven't played a basketball game.
It wouldn't
in
matter.
Like 5 years.
It would not matter. I
If I
play
warm
every
up,
week.
I'll be fine.
I play every week, multiple times a week, and I shoot at least 5 times a week. So, like, yeah, it wouldn't matter. We would be fine.
So, how was your week, man? Apparently, you found something.
I have one complaint. It's not. It's not big. It's just a.
You said it was last night in chat. You said something about the whole government audit thing.
Oh, I can't talk about that.
Well, I can't. To be fair, you can't. Yeah, that's a little confidential.
It's just.
Are you secretly working with Elon Musk?
No. There are things that, like, because we are government contractors that do get
it's like the whole
reported
confidentiality kind of thing.
Well, yes, and the fact that it's government property, it's CUI, it's controlled uniform information. So, like, I can't say anything about that. But there are things that we have as a company turn into Doge, but we haven't had to really. But I did find something that was very interesting. And I had to go to my boss and be like, hey, so there's this. And they were like, what the fuck? So, yeah, we had to.
If it ever got revealed, would it be super shocking to the American people?
See, I can't answer that. Only reason why is because I find it super shocking, but other people might not. It's only because I'm in the business of looking at that. And, like, decimal points to me, even if they're 1 over, that's huge for me, because with the government, they want everything down to like the 100th of a cent.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but it is a lot of money, put it that way. I'll say this.
Is it along the lines of the whole, like, sending money to, like, Guadalajara for, like, that trans stuff?
No, I will say this. Not that type of thing, like where the crazy claims are, but the money claims that they're making. After this, I can honestly see some of them being close to some of that money information. And that's coming from, yes, 100%. So, but this week, dude. Okay, so this is so stupid. So a few months ago, we had a water main break on our street, right? And they came to my house and they dug up my yard because they thought that the water leak was in my yard.
Oh, no.
And I kept telling them that, no, it wasn't, right? Like, it's not in my yard. So they were like, well, we need to, do this and make sure that everything's good. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. So they dug up my yard and I had 3 big trees in the front yard. Now, they dug and they dug. They didn't find a problem. Of course they didn't, right? Oh, it's not over here. So they put the stuff back, but where they dug half of the roots off this tree. Now, this tree is probably like 100 years old. It is huge, right? And all of a sudden, we started noticing the tree started going this way. And we went, my wife went down, even my mother, because, like, when you're old and I guess you're living with your son, like, and you have nothing to do except complain about stuff. You go down and you go complain at the office. And she told him, she's like, look, this tree is leaning. And we brought pictures. We showed them that the tree is leaning. So they gave us like the biggest runaround, right? Mm-hmm. It was unbelievably ridiculous how much runaround they gave us. And finally, we got to someone that deals with like city cleanup and stuff like that. And my wife goes down there and the guy tells us, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And we're like, how do you come to this conclusion? She showed before and after pictures, right? And he's like, well, I'm looking here on Google Earth and it doesn't seem to have moved that much. And she goes, hey, jackass, that picture's probably like a fucking year old. Like, how stupid are you? Right? This thing is seriously like lean. Now, across the street, I have like 5 neighbors, like right there. Mm-hmm. And there's a power line and a telephone line with the transformer on it. I'm worried this thing is going to fall at some point, right? And like I said, I live up on top of a mountain. There's winds like crazy. So this morning, I hear all this stuff going on outside while I'm working. And usually I'm on the phone on a VoIP service for work. And I'm like, So I text my wife. I was like, are they working on the tree? She goes, no, they're back for the water. And I'm like, for what? She's like, they're moving something, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, they get done doing what they're doing. They leave. I'm sitting there. I'm going to show you something. I'm just sitting there, right? And I'm on the phone with a customer. And all of a sudden, I hear this kaboom. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And then, lo and behold, I go up to my porch and kaboom. Dunsky, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
that neighborhood looks great. Outside of the tree that looks like that neighborhood looks pretty cool.
And
honestly, it looks pretty peaceful.
And this is it'll show you how big the tree actually is. Right here. Yeah, it's a very nice neighborhood. Like I said, it's a nice gated neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, if you notice right here, there's a giant thing. If it would have fallen straight like it was going to, that would have taken down that whole pole, everything. Thank God it went like kind of sideways.
So what's happened to it now? Did anyone bother like moving it to the side or anything?
So here we go. This is the funny part. We're standing out there, right? Because I had to tell my boss, like, hey, a giant tree fell, and I showed her pictures. She's like, Jesus Christ. So the police came because a bunch of people were trying to get through, right? And many people had called also besides us, telling them like, hey, this tree is going to fall. It's going to fall. And they just don't want to do it because they're the city. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to do anything until it happens. So, my mom, nothing happens fast up here, right? Because I've told you, you could tell by the houses, dude. It's a fucking white picket fence neighborhood, jolly G Willikers, you know. People still.
It's now the neighborhood that Anthony Carmelo will be going to after his bond got reduced, and he's now out on house arrest.
Like kids still play outside here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's
like freaking people put pies outside to cool. I'm not joking. Like shit like that.
I've heard someone doing that since like the 80s.
So like, all of a sudden, my mom calls my cousin, who is. She's a lawyer, but she's like, dude, she is one of those lawyers that she's very successful at what she does. We're not really close at all since we were kids, but she's like, if there was a female version of myself, just like a very belligerent person, I was thinking like, dude, I was like, I hope she doesn't come here because like she'll do it for my mom. And I'm like, I'm going to end up like in a neck brace and talking about how that tree was an emotional support tree for me. You know, like dude, she called the city apparently. Dude, not even like 15 minutes later, I heard chainsaws. They cleaned that shit up in like fucking an hour.
So you just have a giant hole there now. That's it?
Yep. It's a giant hole too, about 6-7 feet deep. They have to come tomorrow and fix it. So if you see behind there, like right here.
Yeah.
That's where they dug up the sidewalk. See that little
like
piece of metal? They put that there as a water meter. So, because they said it was like our property, blah, 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 that had the leak, but it didn't. So they're using this spot as the meter. So it's like going out through here over to this side, you know, and there's about like 6 houses up here and then 3 houses. I got one, then this second one right here. And then this one's on the corner, real big house. And then down the street, there's a few houses. I don't know who's all connected to that main line, but I was worried. This house, you can barely see through here. That's an old woman that lives there. And of course, she was so nosy. She was out the door like, what are you doing about the tree? I'm like, well, I was thinking about using my magical dick to fuck the tree away, but that's not going to work. So I'm going to call the city.
Did you even try?
I mean, I gave it a good go, but I just got split.
Now
I'm upset.
People think it's like in the movies where you could just move like, you know, fucking what's the shit you move in movies like lumber and logs and shit like that. They think it's so easy. Guys, moving a tree is just not possible.
And one that is that big, you know. And it was like, as soon as they realized like it was their fault, dude, and a lawyer called them, was like, oh, so we're gonna be out here. She's coming here tomorrow, which I'm not very happy about. The next time you see me, dude, I'm going to be in a freaking wheelchair with my arm and leg out there. That was my tree. I am emotionally damaged from the tree. But yeah, it just wasn't a good time. And I was working and trying to get work done. And this happens. And I'm just like, dude, it just stupid stuff like this happens to me all the time. And it's just like
man.
dumb. It's just
Good
dumb.
Lord, man. I hate when you're like super focused in something and then someone has to do something that takes you away from it and you're like, fuck. All the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You know? I remember the only story, one of the ones that I had back when I first graduated from school, I was gonna move like hay for someone for like $120 for like a couple hours because there's a lot of it. And they had this person that basically just loaded it all in the truck for them and they delivered it. And all we had to do was just kind of set it up for them in stacks.
Right.
Only gonna take like 3 hours. Come to find out, that middleman had a falling out with the guy that was buying the hay and moving it, and he canceled on their deal. So we spent the latter part of basically 8 a.m. till 2 o'clock in the morning moving hay between it being outside, all layered out, putting it into his pickup truck, and then him going back and forth constantly. That was one of the most excruciating days of pain I've ever had. Because like, hay is not light, people. Just telling you that right now. Hay is not light. And when you have to move it constantly, I was like, nope, I will never be a farmer ever in my life. I'll never be a farm boy. Just not doing that ever. Imagine like fucking moving hay constantly. That shit's heavy as fuck. God damn. And then what happened afterwards?
Yeah, moving hay is not easy. It is not an easy thing.
Clark made it look so easy in Smallville when he was moving him just the way he was.
Well, so he is also buff when he's not Superman. But when he's Superman, he's Superman.
My wrist hurts so. I've never felt so.
Dude, you don't lie. Your wrist did not hurt. That is like the most worked part of your body.
No,
and I know it for a fact.
I don't jerk off. I'm retired from women and sex and all that stuff. I am done. I'm putting in my retirement and I'm getting my benefits.
All right, chat. Does anybody believe this?
I have control over my sexual emotions. You know, it's like a vampire lusting after blood. I don't lust after blood. I can control it. I have perfected my sexual lust into my body. You know, you don't believe me? Crazy.
No.
Crazy.
No, there's a lot of things that you say that I don't believe, but there are that now. When you're serious, I do believe you, and that's where like the other night, whenever you like last night, whenever you guys were talking about the race swapping and all of that stuff, and where it's like where they talk about it's getting people talking, and it's like I don't buy into that. Like bad press is still press. It's like
that was Gray's point. Yeah.
Well, when does it ever lead to something good? You know, like I'm sure there's an example where it's happened. I'm sure there's an example where it has happened.
Maybe less than 5, I'll say it probably.
But most of the time, it's not.
We can use a recent example of it. Rachel Zegler, when she was at that D23 event and she started spewing all that nonsense, you could argue that kind of made the movie more talked about, but that didn't help at all with the overall box office. That actually probably made it even worse. Honestly,
and I think my biggest issue is, like I said, it usually things like that don't bother me as much as other people, right? Because it's mostly in stuff that I just don't care about, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'll see it if it triggers my interest, but more or less, I think fans just want to see, you know, the adaptation to what they know. Like they want to see what they've read, and I just don't understand why it's a problem if they're all white people, right? Same reason if there was an adaptation from a black source. If they're not, why would it matter if they're all black? Who cares? Yeah. Like I don't understand why that matters. And it's like,
no, I said the same thing for years too. Like people would just call me racist. Like if something is all white or the ethnicities of the white people are like Scandinavian or whatever, it's like some European accents, I don't care. Like it feels like people have this thing of like, it was all white. But you liked it though. They're like, yeah, but it was all white and it had no black. But is that what having a white person in, I don't know, Sanford and Son more often would have made it better? It's like, no, it was completely fine the way it was.
Not at all.
You know?
Because what made the white people great in Sanford was the way Sanford interacted with them, because he would say some crazy, like the court scene. I don't know if you've ever seen. Just look up the Sanford court scene.
I did.
Tell me that's not gold. That is gold.
Or Julio, who was the Puerto Rican dude. The stuff Sanford was saying to that guy.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, and it works. Like that's what made it work, because you were getting it from his perspective towards that person. Now, if they were in every scene and everything, it You know what I mean? It wouldn't
Or like
gel
for
right.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like it's an all-black cast. No one was like, man, got to add more white people to make this better.
Dude, I'm being serious. I never even thought of it.
Me neither.
I know this is weird, maybe because like when I was in there, during that time I was going to school, I was in New Jersey. I never thought, oh, that's an all-black show. I just was like, that's my favorite show on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Like, it didn't make me unrelate to them because like they were a black family. Like, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was only later on in life that, like, if reruns are on BET or something and people have talked about it now, that you think that way. But like as a kid, I never thought that way. Like it just never like came across my mind that, oh, these are all black people and oh man, they better have a white person in it. Like I didn't think that. Like, who cares?
Yeah, because like next week when we do Absolute Superman or the issue 3 for this, the topic was going to be there's 2 Power Rangers one I'm gonna have to go over in the next few weeks. The first one was what you talked about with the whole having a black person there, because I'm pretty sure you saw what happened with Power Rangers, where like one of the writers or producers on Mighty Morphin apologized for casting Walter Jones to be the Black Ranger. And he said
Trini is the Yellow Ranger. Yeah.
I don't get the whole yellow with Asian, but the black one was like, it took me so long to laugh, because when I figured out, oh, they casted a black guy to be the Black Ranger, you know what happened, guys? I just laughed. And I didn't give a fuck. Like, everyone else did.
I mean, here's the thing. If it was such a massive problem, they could have easily, before the show came out, changed them to the Blue Ranger or whatever before we even saw it. Would it have made a difference? Because guess what? Walter Jones, maybe not his character as Zach, like talking to people. Dude, he had like the best moves. He had the best, best shit whenever he was doing the, like, I know it's stupid, the hip hop keto thing, but dude, tell me that dude didn't, like, every time he fought out of suit, he was not the best dude fighting in the originals.
It was pretty unique. I liked it. It was cool. It's better than Billy. I was just saying that, you know.
Well, Billy that was just weird because they tried to make him like such a nerd, but yet he was like buffer than every like other person. When he had his shirt off, the dude was like ripped as fuck. Like, I'm like, all
that's
right.
What I hate about certain white liberal people feeling like they have to be the savior for black people, and then they're like doing that white guilt thing where they're apologizing for certain things that they knowingly, willingly did, but since times changed, they're trying to play revisionist history and backtrack. Same thing that Robert Kirkman did. Remember where he was interviewed? And they asked, why did you make Amber in the show black if she's white? And he was like, well, this was a comic book made by a couple of white dudes in the 2000s, and we didn't really know what we were doing. What are you talking about? I shit you not, that's literally what he said. He like, it's one of the stupidest things ever. I like Robert Kirkman. I think he's made some good stuff. But he was like, man, it was just 2 dudes just making a comic book. And it's like, what does that do with anything?
I just don't know what goes into the, like, revisionist history is very dumb. Like, why even go back to when, so my dad always taught me this, right? If you think someone is an idiot, or if you are around an idiot, why would you listen to the idiot, right? So if the idiot is revisionist historying on you, why listen to the idiot? They're just going to say idiotic things, right? And even like they use the example of a broken clock is right twice a day. That's fine. It's also wrong 22 times a day. So the fucking, the math on it doesn't add up. So, I mean, like, I just don't get it. If you're so worried about a time and place that can't be changed, why apologize for it? Why not just make something whenever you do it? Just make it, right? And then instead of stop telling us about, like, I should not know the sexual orientation of characters before the show is out. I should not know these things. Like, if you want to have a gay person in your show, I'm fine with that. Just make them gay.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
My thing is, like, why? Because I feel like they're saying these things to try to basically, they do that thing that comic book writers do, where they say the thing that is basically going, what's the saying growing up is, the opinion is like flowing with the wind. Yeah, it's like they're going wherever the wind blows. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're fair weather.
They're not doing it out of any like super like genuine knowledge of it, because this is what I said. This was on the Iron Man podcast on Rumble a long time ago when we were reading that story of Robert Kirkman. I was like, if he really thought that back then, why not just make Ember Black back then? It wasn't a problem back then if you just had an all white cast. But now all of a sudden, because everyone in Hollywood has made it a narrative that white people are the worst and they're racist and white supremacists and all that stuff, now everyone that didn't have Black people in their medias and their IPs and movies and TV, now they have to come out and be like, "Oh, we're sorry for doing that." And it's like, that is not genuine. I know I don't believe you.
Stupid too, because we didn't know what we know now. What, you didn't know Black people existed? What, are you fucking dumb? Do you watch any sports at all? Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we need that. Like we were talking about off screen. Like we really need that new white guy in the NBA. Do you want the NBA to suck?
Yeah. And when white
they're
guys
not European, don't put them in there.
Yeah. White guys that came in organically. Jokic and Doncic. Good. Very good. Austin Reeves came up a little bit. He's great.
Bogdanovich, like that. Yeah.
Steve Nash. He has a legendary story of completely dominating that playoffs run he had back in, I forgot, 2007, 2008, and running through everyone.
Well, it was like I was telling you, like in the 70s, they looked, when Larry Bird came in, it was like this whole big thing. It was like the great white hope. If you're watching on Max right now, they got a really good documentary about the Celtics, and it's a new episode every Monday, and they talk about it, right? They talk about it, and they go really deep into the race thing of it. But the funny part about it is, it's like I said, when Michael Jordan took over, right, not one person was screaming for another Larry Bird because everybody loved Michael Jordan. And it's like, dude, maybe it needed to happen then. I think it needed to happen because of their rivalry, not because, oh, this person's white and this. Maybe that's the narrative of what it was back then.
Oh, that's what I wanted to add to your point, which is, do you know how, like, when people get in altercations, whether it be white or Black or Mexican or Asian, why is that everyone's first assumption that it's racist? I've never understood that. And I'll admit, given out of 100, I'll probably say 60-40, 70-30. It's mostly in favor of some sort of race problem. But why is it always a race issue? What if that guy disrespected me and he bumped me on the shoulder and I told him to fuck off? Like, it had nothing to do with race. So, it was just basic, altercations people have in everyday life. You know what I mean? Like, have you noticed that, dude? Every single time someone gets into an altercation, it's always racial. And it's like, what if that guy stomped on my foot? What if that guy, like, smacked my wife's ass and I just wanted to beat him up? Just
I think when you nowadays, especially when you have what I call the marginalized, right? And they're, regardless if it's race or sex, gender, whatever, right? They're the marginalized. I don't want to say victim, right? Because there are the victimhood people that play victim. Yeah. But it's more like the marginalized, right? Mm-hmm. And if you can't make that narrative fit into your little box, right? Mm-hmm. Then what do you have to complain about? Nothing, right? Mm-hmm. It's just something that happened. And God forbid, with social media where everything is reported, my neighbor who yelled at me, like everything has to have a label now. We just live in a labeled society. And it's like if I have one neighbor that lives catty corner to me, right? Mm-hmm. Older Black lady, her husband died. I mow her lawn, am I doing that because she's Black?
You have white guilt. That's why you did it.
Yeah, I'm doing it because she has nobody to mow her lawn and she's not going to pay for it. So I just do it. Who cares?
Did you see that video in 2020 where all the white people and oh my God, of course it's in fucking Vermont, or I think it was Illinois or whatever. Maybe it was Virginia. It was one of those three. I remember where all the white people were getting on their knees and had their hands up to Black people. I was like, damn, how low have we fallen? This is bad. They were praying. Black people were supposed to accept the white people giving them their white guilt away. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know, dude.
People say wokeness is a sickness. I would have to agree on some.
I just don't understand why we can't just be people. Like we should. If you live in America and you ascribe to American ideals, we are Americans.
Yeah,
and there's more of a class dichotomy than there should be a race dichotomy. Because guess what? my buddy Wayne, who I told you about, that's what he always told me. He goes, white, black. He always would say, big hoe, big snake. We're all poor. That's the problem.
Yeah. Because I think
he was right though, dude. Because like Theo Vaughn said, like, you think I have all this privilege and then I would move right next to you? You think I just got all your shit and just don't have it anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same. It's true, man. Like when I lived in Clareton, PA, that is a ghetto ass place, right? Like, you think I moved there because I was so privileged? No, it's because that was the cheapest place I could afford to live.
Have you noticed that all the rich liberals don't live in those places, even though
Of course not. They never would.
All the things that that piece of shit, Hassan Piker. He doesn't live in a ghetto. Man lives in a gated community. I find it so crazy that all these people apparently care about ghetto people and poor people or whatever that's even supposed to mean anymore. Yet they don't, and they say they're good people, but they don't live next to them. Why don't you go and live in Watts then? If you're so confident,
go live there for 6 months and walk the streets and get to know everybody and hang out with everybody. You know what I mean?
Do like Jesus did. Go door to door.
Go door to door and peddle your wares. See how long that lasts. See if you walk home with shoes. Like,
oh my God.
And that's just an everybody thing. Like, and that's and I think like until the poor who buy into this a lot more than most people, because they're poor on top of everything else. So it's like you already feel horrible. You got the worst end of the stick that you could get in the American dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, the media is feeding you all of this other stuff. So imagine on top of like not knowing where your food is coming from, not knowing all of this other stuff, you see all of these people who are saying this to you that live in nice houses, that are successful. And especially like when you hear a rapper talk about the struggle, and I'm just like, maybe that's how it was for you when you were young. Maybe it is, but you are not that same person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. Because like, if that was the case, then if that's the case, then you would give all your money away.
Notice how they never help black people either. All those rappers that talk about struggle and shooting and all that stuff, they don't help black people at all. It's crazy.
And it's like I said, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's fine. The same. It's the opposite of the ghetto is the trailer park. It's the same, dude. It's the same there, dude.
Oh, I've been to a lot of trailer parks. Those are wild.
Yeah, it's the same there.
Bob, Billy D. Joe with no teeth cooking meth at 12 o'clock in the night.
There you go, dude. Like Jeff Foxworthy used to say, if you mow your car, you mow your lawn, and you find a car, like it's like, dude, you know what I'm talking about? That car that's there that has no windshield, no tires.
But dude, my problem is like I don't understand people. So like they'll always talk to you about, let's use troons. So people go like troons and they'll be like science this and science that. And then whenever it's another argument on a different spectrum and the science and the statistics are against them, even from organizations that favor them, they don't believe it. That's why I tell people science and statistics are reflective of what you can see in reality. So I don't know if people actually know this because people always say I'm racist for this. This is actually factually true. Black people commit a lot of the crime in the country, and they're only 13%. Now, does that mean that every black person is bad? No, but they do a disproportionate amount of the crime. But I don't just get that saying that is a problem, though, because a lot of people would think that. They're thinking like, oh, but you saying that it's because they have to go through all these problems. I'll tell you guys this right now. Outside of the instances you brought up and stuff that I brought up, just because you're poor, does it automatically mean you just do crime? I was poor. We did no crime. I know plenty of people who were poor. They did no crime. Absolutely nothing. We just were poor. You just got through it. You were poor before. You just got through it. Yeah. I don't agree. I'm saying you said this. I just don't agree that if people are in bad situations, they just start doing crime. Like people, but the media will say that. They'll be like, oh, but they're in a bad situation. They have to kind of like mug that guy, beat that guy, or rob that liquor store. No, none of us did that. I feel like that's so disrespectful to people.
There was a time, and I can honestly say this, that I was so hungry that I looked in my pantry, everything, and the only thing I had was peanut butter that was like 8 years old that tasted like cardboard. And I found a pack of flour tortillas that had mold on it, and I cut the spots with mold out, and I put cardboard peanut butter on there and ate it for 4 days. That is what I had.
You were at your lowest and you still didn't go commit a crime. Nothing. But then people are going to use what about the whole crack epidemic in the black neighborhood? Guys, I understand
Even
what you're saying.
even if it was there, you still have to choose to do it.
Yeah, no one had a freaking. I mean, I imagine if you're gang related, that would happen, technically speaking, because people do things to get in gangs.
Well, of course, like the easy money, and this I can attest to. Easy money is very addictive because, dude, there's like when I was slinging, and when you go from nothing, to I literally made $700. I know that's not a huge amount, but to me,
when you're poor, it's everything. Yeah,
in like 2 hours, you're like, dude, I just made $350 an hour, and then that is, that mindset takes over. That's why I always say, like, when I got clean, the biggest problem was the lifestyle. The drug itself, yes, the withdrawal and all that stuff. But if you remove yourself from it and you know that it's not there, yes, it's going to be awful no matter what anybody says. If someone tells you like, oh, I kicked heroin and it was easy, they are full of shit, right? But if you do remove yourself from those places and the people and the things, it doesn't necessarily make the withdrawal or everything, the sickness, easier. But what it does is it removes you from that lifestyle to make that decision to, I know if I just go and do this, I will feel better in a second. Same thing with, I know if I sell this crack or I sell this whatever, I can make this money super fast. But then you start dealing with dangerous people. You start dealing with drug addicts. You start dealing with drug dealers. You start moving up. You start dealing with bigger drug dealers that all they literally do is just buy this giant quantity and it goes to someone else who divvies it up. They made all this money without really having to even touch the stuff. Those are the dangerous ones. Those are the ones that'll fucking kill you because you fucked up their money, which is not that $700. That was, $250,000 or, this amount. You know what I'm saying? That the lifestyle is the most dangerous part. And that's why I say, when you live fast, you die young. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a very true statement. And I learned that the hard way. But if there was some sort of outreach programs to help these people understand that it's not necessarily the item, it's the lifestyle. You have to, if people could learn how to live, even if you have to go to the food bank or if you have to travel here to get this or ride the bus or do whatever. I mean, when me and my wife, like I said, first got together, we were so young, dude. She was going to this food bank over here on the bus, bringing back boxes of stuff, going over here, asking for a ride from this person to get this thing over here. Like, it was, until we were on our feet, dude, it was a hustle. It was almost a hustle in that whole lifestyle, but we had to get what we needed.
Yeah.
Get food, and you have to do, but like, we weren't thinking like, I have to go rob this person or have to do this or this. I was looking out there. It's also a lot of lazy mentality also.
You also probably made jokes back in the day, dark humor, like, yeah, it'd be cool if I just kind of went up and robbed this bank. Because people joke and cope like that when you're that poor. It's like, that's the only thing that kind of gets you through it,
It sucks, but I mean, it is what it is.
I tell people this, like, if the only person that makes you do something, relatively speaking, is yourself. People can say peer pressure. Sure. I'm not saying that's not a factor, but you're the one that makes a decision. All those people, all those black people that got addicted to crack or whatever, they did that themselves, though.
Well, it's all any people, but I know you're speaking just from the black perspective. I wish there was an easy answer to the whole epidemic of problems, right? But it's hard to just say no, but it's easy for someone on the outside to say that, right? Don't know their situation. I know that shouldn't play into a factor, but they might feel it does. But it still in lies with personal responsibility, saying no and rising above that and doing what you got to do. And people will say, well, I couldn't get out of there. I couldn't this. Motherfucker, I left my house when I was 15 years old. I lived on the freaking street. I hid in the woods from the police because I didn't want to get picked up. I made my way to California on trains with murderous hobos. Dude, that was the craziest part, dude. Like when you would get near checkpoint cities, you would see all these cars with all these bums just jumping. It was like the bum hurdle, dude. It was so crazy. I remember like this dude, Lenny, he had, we call him rings because he had all these rings on his fingers. And it was like, he had like metal fingers because you didn't see nothing. Lenny be like, all right, it's time to jump. We jump off, wait, walk to the next checkpoint, wait till it was done, jump back on. Dude, it was crazy, dude. Like I can't believe I did some of that shit.
Well, I think most people forget it all comes down to making good decisions. Like you'll even see black people say, hey, certain black men or women say, I did this decision that was good, that decision that was good, that decision that was good. And their life turned out better. All it comes down is making good choices and making good choices in certain moments, knowing you're going to struggle through it to see that end goal. People are too like short-term focused. They're like, but if I do this, then I'm gonna have to struggle. It's like, well, join the fucking club. We're all gonna do it.
Anything that's worth anything, you have to struggle for.
Yeah, it's just how it is. Unless you're born
just
like Oliver Queen and Bruce,
right?
You know?
Right? Yeah. I mean, look at any athlete. Look at like you know, like this is just the example. You know, Michael Jordan. Like both of his parents worked. If you watch any of his biographies, they were like, you know, we couldn't be at the home, so we had to go do sports, go do this, get involved with the community, go to a lot of places have YMCAs, go there, find a mentor, find somebody, do something. I know that sounds hard, but if all these people are doing it, I don't know why other people can't. I don't know their situations in their city. I don't know, but I hope to one day that we can all look at each other.
Yeah.
I hope to one day we can all just look at each other and see people first. Like that's what I see. Like, because I don't care if you're freaking. What do I care what color you are? That doesn't mean I don't know why that means something to people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not downplaying people that care about their ethnicity. Please don't think that at all. It's just that when I see people. You're either a dickhead or you're not. That's how I judge people. If you're a dick,
when I see a Mexican, I see a taco. Just saying. I see all you guys doing wrap burritos and make tacos. That's all you guys be doing. But before we get to the book, like, and it's hard to get people out of that mindset though, because they're so what to say. So this is gonna sound kind of
what mean. A segue to the book, by the way.
But I like being me because people are so convinced they're a victim that they can't do anything, and at the moment you tell them something, they're like, "Oh my god, that's a life revelation." It's like, yeah, life's not over. You can. People just think that because they're at the bottom, that they must only be at the bottom, and they'll never see anything out of the bottom. And it's like, how can you look at life so binary like that? It's either the bottom or you're at the absolute top. And it's like,
why are you gendering life? Is it binary now? How dare you? This conversation is over. I am done with you.
I disavow.
No, but I know what you're saying. Yes. Why do you always have the defeatist mentality? Where you were either this thing or this thing? That is there's only like two options in people's life who live like that. There's never that third option of, well, maybe I want to get here, but I can't yet, but I know I don't want.
Yeah.
I know I don't want this. That has to be an option.
Their options are literally, I'm a victim and everything else is against me and the system hates me. And it's like, I have to do this. Let's say there is a system that hates you. Even though it's not, let's just say there is. Well, can't you overcome it? The best stories in life are the ones or the guys and the ladies that overcame those things. What? You don't want to challenge it? Life would be so boring if we had no challenges. That's boring as hell. I mean, fucking have no things to tell you guys in my life if I had no challenges. Boring. What would I say? You know, if people just want to go through life with no challenges, I'm saying life without struggle is boring. It just is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it might. There's a lot of things that you have to.
I wouldn't say eating 8-month-old peanut butter is a good idea, or tortillas with it.
No, it was 8-year-old peanut butter. Oh, I was sick, dude. That's all I had. I couldn't. I tried.
God, man.
What I had to do.
It's better than. I will say it's better than eating ketchup sandwiches. It's so gross. Why did we eat that growing up? That's nasty.
I've eaten the ketchup special.
If you had mayonnaise in it, that's gonna.
I knew people that ate mayonnaise sandwiches. I can't eat mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise just tastes like cum. Just can't do it. Can't do it.
I don't know what cum tastes like.
Me neither.
So I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, I imagine it tastes like battery acid. which is pre-workout. If you guys ever drink that, that's battery acid. That tastes like crap. Any pre-workout mostly tastes bad.
Avengers versus Aliens.
Oh, speaking about acid that comes out of aliens, let's get to that.
So first off, what did you think of this book?
I thought we'll get to it right now.
Well, I'm saying your overall opinion.
Well, to be fair, outside of the reveal, outside of that, I do enjoy the series. I think it's fine. I think it's good. This one's a little bit more toned down than the first one. The first one went like fucking all out.
I think they needed to tell us where the stuff was coming from. I think that was
the main book one with the scientists in book one. I think
they kind of lay it in more. Like if you read, like you go in
black people reading. Oh, that's rich. That's
you go in the first couple pages when it gives you the title here. It tells you like what is going on here. And if it wasn't, as plain as day, like I said, I don't have the problem like you have about the symbiote. I don't think that matters.
Well, it didn't even matter in this book because they didn't even touch on it. So I was like,
well, I'm just saying, I don't think it. That's my whole point, though. I don't think it matters as much as the emphasis is you're putting on it. I think it was just a mechanism to show that there was something that can overcome that
black person overcoming something. Jonathan Hickman, he's a conservative now. I love him now.
That specific, problem they were having. That's what I think. I just think it's a mechanic.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Aliens versus Avengers issue number 2. So, if you guys have not had a chance to check out my Aliens versus Avengers issue number 1 comic book review, I would highly recommend you guys go and check out my Aliens versus Avengers issue number 1 comic book review. That way you guys can understand how I felt about that issue, comparing it to issue number 2 for Aliens versus Avengers. I did read Aliens versus Avengers relatively very quickly when it dropped, because I remember when, Marvel Comics announced it was doing Aliens versus Avengers, written by Jonathan Hickman, and the artist on this book is just absolutely phenomenal. He is able to really capture that Alien series kind of feel in the book, actually. And the first book dropped. Overall, I did enjoy it. I was like, I just always am a sucker for the alien and this whole xenomorph thing. I actually just love it.
Esad Ribic is great. He did Secret Wars also for Hickman.
I didn't know.
And I think he did a few of the Fantastic Four, but he did all the Secret Wars. That's why it looked so great. It had that like weird dreamy feel to it that he encapsulates very well.
So after I read issue number 1, I told you guys I was going to read issue number 2. You know what happened? Literally didn't happen at all, because I was so busy with getting more comic book packages in and everything else I was doing at that time. And I told you guys, if I can't get to the other, issues, as it's a 4-issue miniseries, I'll just, read it when it comes out as a trade. Well, I won't need to do that.
We'll be able to get to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we need to do is freaking Hush. That's what we need to be doing.
Yes. But since it's a Marvel comic book review, because he is trying to pull the white rage out of me, because I'm a white black guy, we did end up finally getting to a point where I was able to read issue 2 for Aliens versus Avengers. Now, this is something that I explained in my review for issue 1. This is a book that I will tell you guys, this is not about the quality of the book, not about that. It's about the price of the book. So I wasn't kidding when
it's a problem.
Look at this. I know you guys back in the day. Godly, man, back in like your dad's day and back in the day with all the older folks, you guys are like, man, our comic books were 50 cents to $1. I used to go to the liquor store and buy
$1.25 when I first started. $1.25.
Guys, this book is $7.99. $7.99 for 40 pages. Now, I will say this: if Marvel Comics is full of cheap ass fucking bitches, dude. If you're gonna charge someone $7.99 for a book, that shit gotta be at least 56 pages, at least in the 50-page range. Because DC when they charge you $7.99 for a book, you're getting 64 pages. Remember Batman Brave and the Bold, that series that they ended at 20 issues, all in that prestige format? 64 pages, $7.99. $7.99 for 40 pages. That's like, come on, Marvel,
I mean,
what are
my
you
variant
doing?
covers for Absolute Batman were only $6.99.
You know, it's just one of those things where if people didn't want to have this on their pull list because it was $7.99, I fully understand it.
And
I fully get you.
I want to make a point here too. But
Yeah,
what
sure,
you're
go ahead.
saying. So I follow the Jeff Johns Image stuff, right? I ordered Rook Exodus, the trade today. It'll be here tomorrow. But when I was at the comic book store, I got the Geiger number 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
These Image books are put together so much better than all the other books. Like the cover on here is almost like a hardcover compared to the page. And it's just so well put together. It's so well done.
It feels like a trade. Yeah,
it does. And it was like the paper they printed on. I don't know if it's different in any way, but it feels substantial when I was reading it. And I was like, you know, because I followed Geiger through the whole way when he first did Geiger and Junkyard Joe and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is cool. And it's leading up to something which I thought was really neat because at the back of the book, he gave us the whole timeline of when all the stuff that he's writing takes place. And it's leading up to this war that I believe it's called the Unnamed War. Like, so he gives a whole timeline of all the stuff. And obviously the character's Geiger at the end. So they have him in there, but like all the information about what you're reading and what he's tying together, and like all the advertisements had to do with other books in the Ghost Machine series. And I was just like, this is great, you know, and like I usually wait for the trades for them. Yeah. But now it's like, dude, I'm going to be buying the single issues because these are just
add to your point.
And it was $3.99.
I was gonna just to add to your point, we're reading Jason Aaron's Bug Wars mini series that he's doing, which is going to be 6 issues. The same way you just described that Geiger issue, that's the same way Bug Wars felt. You got basically 40 pages for about $3.99. That Bug Wars issue number 1 book felt so good reading it. Just the quality of the overall book just felt good for the amount of money you're going to pay for it. And it's like, if you guys like Jonathan Hickman, people don't know, he's been doing quite a bit for Marvel Comics. So he did the sequel Secret Wars event. So there's the original Secret Wars that came out back in like the 80s and 90s, the whole Black Suit Spider-Man. He did the newest one. Yes, he did that. He did Wolverine Revenge. That was like 5 issues. He's doing Aliens vs. Avengers. He did Gods. He did Ultimate Spider-Man, which he's still currently doing. And this book, I remember it was announced coming out in like July, got delayed a little bit to like August. Then issue 2 came out in November, and that got delayed even for a few weeks in November. Issue 3 was supposed to drop in January. That got delayed till February. And then the 4th issue is coming out in June, and the trade is dropping in August, actually. So I don't know what's happened with this series to make it this like delayed and stuff like that. I doubt it's Jonathan Hickman's doing.
It's probably either it was supposed to be 3 months at a time, which I understood, like a year for the story. That's fine. But if you're not just going to stick to the 3 months, then just don't say anything. Just be like, it'll be out when it's out. Like, I know that's terrible to say and people want to know when it's out, but like, that ruins stuff when you tell us it's supposed to be this time and then it doesn't. And then it doesn't.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's another thing that I like about the Ghost Machine and the Rook Exodus, because we know that's a Fabok book and he takes his time. Look how long 3 Jokers took to came out, and that wasn't Jeff Johns. We all know. We all know that wasn't Jeff Johns because that dude puts out 9 bazillion stories. There you go. Just start there. And you know, they're like, hey, you're going to get 6 issues. When it's on, it's on. Yeah. But whenever we're done with the arc, it's going to be a little bit. And I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
As long as I know upfront it's going to be a while. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and he said, you know, it's going to be a little while before the next one comes out. And I'm cool with that because the quality of the book is there. It looks amazing, by the way. It does. I've read the first 4 issues and I stopped because I wanted to wait for the trade. And I was like, I'm just going to stop. I'll wait for the trade. And because I want to read the bigger pages and stuff like that. So like, but yeah, if you're just going to screw up the releases of books constantly, then either don't do it or just wait until it's done and
Well,
then
yeah. So I want to add
put
to
it
your
out.
point because do you know why that's a problem, guys? And I get it. Delays happen not all the time, but they happen a fair bit. Even manga has delays. But the problem with having like delays with something like this, and it's only a 4-issue miniseries, is because the way you feel and think about the book between issue to issues would vary. Because, like, okay, let's say you liked issue 1, and I enjoyed issue 1. Now, if I got to this, let's just say this was bad, I would feel so different about this issue, and I would feel so different about the series in general at that point because I had to wait so long to get it. That's the problem with the delays. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's art. Maybe it's the art. Maybe it's Ribic's art that takes a while to do. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Who knows, dude? I think they should just wait. And if something like this, especially if it's just 4 issues, don't announce it. Wait till it's done.
Or don't do the series. Just do a trade. Just do a whole freaking novel.
That's what I mean. Wait till the 4 issues are done, and then be like, hey, this summer, starting in May, you're gonna get May, June, July, August. We're doing Avengers versus Aliens.
Yeah.
This 4-part mini series.
DC did it with Jim Lee. They knew Jim Lee was lazy as fuck. He don't do anything at DC.
By the way, did you read that issue?
You think black people read?
Did you read the issue?
I will at some point.
God damn it.
Why do you hate me?
Damn it. Because I want to talk about the art in it.
We will.
Weird. It's weird.
We will.
Some panels look amazing, and then other panels, like when I showed my brother, who was a huge Jim Lee fan, so he's older than me, he was reading X-Men stuff. So like when I showed it to him, he's like, oh, that's definitely Jim Lee. Then I showed him the next page. He was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, exactly. It's not bad by any means. It just looks like he was like,
you think I forget the artist's name, Ribic. Do you think his art was inspired by Alex Ross? It feels very Alex Ross.
Yes, I think it's a mixture. If you really look at it, like the faces, it's a mix of like Alex Ross and like Gary Frank's facial expressions.
Yeah. Okay.
It definitely is because it has the watercolor essence to it, like that type of thing. Yeah.
So the best way I can describe this book to you guys is that, okay, so the first book, you get the opening to the universe, how all the different fractions kind of were introduced to like the xenomorphs. You had the Black Panther stuff. You had the introduction of like, okay, like the world got infested with xenomorphs and they took over everything. That's another problem I had in the first book. It's like, okay, this world has Avengers on it. How in the world did the xenomorph just take over everything? But the xenomorph did. They took over everything, and you were kind of just left with Iron Man and Hulk and Captain Marvel and Miles Morales and Spider-Man, right? Then we had the reveal that the xenomorph didn't end up killing Miles. The symbiote that was a part of his Spider-Man suit basically kind of merged with the face hugger, so he's still alive. And then this issue kind of doesn't really take place with anything that happened in issue 1 because that was just set up there. So like the reveal didn't really get more talked about here at all. What ended up happening mostly was that Earth got to a point where people just had to be evacuated because the xenomorphs were just going to end up taking over more further to what they were going to do. That's pretty much it. And I feel like mostly the only real issue I had with this was it just kind of felt a little toned down compared to like being big and explosive like the first book. The first book was introducing everything. Like we went from here to here to here, and the setup is good. I mean, Jonathan Hickman, he's kind of like Oda for me with One Piece. Man just sets up everything. Everything has to be set up. He can't go an issue without setting up anything. He just has to set up everything. But the setup is good, and I feel like when you get this kind of thing, I do think what you said earlier is true. I would advise people when you get to the breaks, reading this kind of stuff like the little boxes here would really help you out with understanding where things are. But other than that, it's a fine issue. You know, can't wait to read issue 3 to see where it goes. I do feel like the lack of the Avengers is kind of the issue with me because in the first issue you had Iron Man there, you had Black Panther there, you had Hulk there, you had Captain Marvel there. Captain America is advertised on the books and he's just not really there until this issue. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that and I get that. For me, like, I think it doesn't bother me as much as other people because, I mean, I've been reading for so long and there's been so many times that people been on the cover of a book and you don't see them until whatever. And, you know, how many covers were submitted? Is that an editorial thing? did they want this cover out of how many ever? And we see it with the, how many variants of the Hush cover they got. Like how many other ones do you think didn't make it? I mean, we have 22, and there's probably a whole ton more of people that submitted. So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got Batman dunking a basketball on the Joker, and
you're saying you can't see a Batman versus LeBron James cover coming very soon? That'd be pretty fun. That would be pretty cool.
God, I hope not. But it might happen. Who knows?
If you guys got the main cover, which is the one a lot of people have, Black Panther's not in this issue. He's not. He's just nowhere to be seen. Do you like Captain Marvel in the series so far? I feel like she's just been okay.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think this isn't. I don't believe that this is a book that's more about your typical Avengers action. This is more psychological, and it deals with the emotion of what happens when you have nothing. Like they are stripped bare in this. And what does it feel like when you have to make hard decisions? This is a very decision-based series. If you remember the beginning of this,
I do.
Iron Man makes a very, very important decision when talking to the head of the Whaling Corporation. And he makes a very hard decision at the end of the book. And so does Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
so
I think that's
did you like
more
the Prometheus angles too? Because apparently people said there's Prometheus angles in here between the first few pages about them talking about what they want to do to basically kind of cleanse the universe. Every one of the Alien franchise does that. It's not just Jonathan Hickman's thing. Everyone in Alien franchise is like, we must now cleanse the universe with the xenomorphs because the humans are disgusting.
Yeah.
Every fucking movie they're doing this.
Well, I think it's like, well, you also got to think though, unless they had a spaceship that had a mission and it attached onto it, how else are they getting there? It's not like the xenomorphs are taking ships, that's what I mean. So
this dialogue was better than Absolute Superman #1's dialogue. This was at least more interesting. Like Jonathan Hickman can definitely write better dialogue than Jason Aaron.
Yes, he writes. I will say this though. So after reading Absolute Superman 1, I had the refresh, and when I picked Sick, dude, that does turn very good in my opinion. It gets very, very good.
See, and unlike other Black people, I'll struggle to get through it. I'm gonna get through the struggle.
You will. I don't know if you will like it as much as I do. I will say that.
I'm always willing to be surprised.
I don't know if you will. I do think that you will like Absolute Green Lantern. I think you will love that because that
main character's black.
That is just because it's balls to the walls crazy and there's just shit going on left and right. And I really think that you will be surprised by Absolute Martian Manhunter.
So, okay, and I did add that to my pull list because you did say it was good. I will order it when I get my next haul. So this starts off very Prometheus angle. So I'll tell people about Prometheus to me. I've watched maybe the first 5 minutes of that movie, and I fell asleep at James's house. James, back when that movie came out,
I'm not watching that movie.
Yeah, like I literally, his parents have like basic cable because they have a daycare, right? And it was on one night. We were at his house. And it came on, and I was like, I've never seen Prometheus. I've seen Aliens.
Damon Lindelof. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, and I was like, Prometheus, well, this is pretty cool. I knew it had divisive angles to it because at school, everyone was divisively talking about it. I was like, let me give it a try.
God, you
5
make
minutes
me
in,
feel old.
Straight up,
me feel
knocked
old.
out.
You said school and Prometheus in the same sentence.
Good Lord, man. I was so knocked. And then years later on, guys, I watched Alien Covenant, and I actually wanted to hang myself. That is a trash movie. That is bad. But yeah, so we get this kind of Prometheus angle of we want to cleanse the universe of the bad people. That's what every single fucking Aliens movie ever wants to do.
Yeah, we see these guys, and it's like these three brothers, and they're on this conquest of going through. First, it was like 100 years, 10,000 planets that they've destroyed, and then it's this many, and it's like they show like they're like talking. They made a big line, and I can't remember where it is. Where does he say it? He talks about being not pissed off, but like he said something about the creator. Oh, okay. He said, I would think meeting one's creator would have some higher value would feel more significant than meeting one's maker. And he says, but I feel no different about the engineers than I do humanity. And the brother's like offended. And he says, no, appalled. So it's like, who made them is where that, did they come from this or who made them? Because they say the Wayland Corporation, right? So you're wondering who is this, them doing it themselves, or are they part of something bigger that has a big bad, or is it just them as the big bad itself?
So then after that, we fast forward to basically where our heroes left off. So it doesn't actually take directly off of where that reveal from issue 1 happened with the whole symbiote and the face hugger and Miles. It goes to this guy basically trying to extort stuff from Tony Stark, who basically
that was a while ago. That was years ago. So it's this is like 20 something years before.
You're right. Yeah.
The whatever. He basically is like, they signed this deal with this Wayland Corporation for resources and things like that. But Iron Man had hacked into their network and found out that they were basically purging the Earth. And what I liked about this a lot was the dialogue that he had with him, where he says, this is twice now you've surprised me. Delightful. It must be a lot to deal with. The knowledge of the unavoidable extermination of your own, of you and your world. Death from a bullet fired before you even understood the idea of a gun, which is like completely awesome dialogue.
The whole dying possum thing, that was pretty cool. I know that was clever.
So like he has a lot of like really good dialogue in here. And
you're not a fan of Lois Lane, or sorry, fucking Clark's mom walking outside saying it's raining, we must get wet in it.
No, dude.
That's the worst thing I ever read in the book.
Enjoy getting drenched. Like, Jesus.
Also,
Christ, dude.
After that moment where Tony apprehends the one guy who was trying to take over, that was it, because I forgot in the Alien franchise they have these people called synthetics that are like androids, right? So that guy, he was a synthetic actually.
So is that like, I don't watch the Alien movies. I saw is the Wayland Corporation, is that from the Alien movies? And people are probably like, you're such an idiot, you don't know anything. I don't watch those fucking movies. When I tell you people like that I don't do that type of thing, I'm telling you the truth. So like,
we get to the now, as you said, and the event, basically Tony kind of gives them this revelation that the aliens are going to kind of overrun this place at any moment now. And then he basically uncovers this giant like airship carrier here.
It is a fictional British corporation in the Alien franchise. The Wayland Corporation. So
you learn something every day.
So see, like I don't know these things. Like Alien and Aliens, I watched, right? And I don't remember everything about those, but all those ones that like Alien 3, Resurrection, all that stuff, like I've never seen those movies. Like they weren't my thing, And
I want to show you how good of a detail Jonathan Hickman and Ribic were paying attention, because even if you didn't or forgot that they existed, they made sure to emphasize them here to a point where you went like, were they in there? And you were like, okay, you're gonna just be like, yeah. That's what I liked. If you're gonna do a crossover, at least if people forgot what one franchise had compared to the other one, they'll be there. I do enjoy that.
And that's usually, I'm being honest, that's usually where I take the most flack from the comic book community, is usually when it's like a crossover of something like this that I don't know about. Right? Like,
you don't remember everything in life ever with every medium you've ever consumed? How dare you?
No, not at all. Not even close. But like something like this, like my brother, if he read this, he would love it. Because he's into that thing. He wanted me to go with him to see Prometheus, and I was like, no, I won't be seen.
Tony is like, it's over. We lost.
Thank you, Michael.
And then we get to the point where Miles is like, is there anything we can do besides cut and run? Captain Marvel's like, no, we really can't do anything. Then as we just told you guys, Tony unveils the ship right there that they're going to be leaving. They have about 1,400 people they have to basically save. Him and Banner are kind of conflicting about, what should we really do?
Then it gets also Iron Man killed that guy, that synthetic, and has him on a table and has his head in a jar. So he's been studying him. So there's that, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Then it gets to a point where, they do have to end up evacuating. Captain Marvel seeks out the war machines to kind of deal with the xenomorphs in the city.
No, what they have to do is they're blowing the walls so nobody can get in. Once they blow the walls, nobody will be able to get in. And the walls have automatic sensors on them. If someone like Captain America or Hawkeye, people like that are in different colonies come back, it won't automatically destroy them. And that's what they were saying. Like, we haven't heard from these guys in forever. Like, we don't even know what's going on with them. So when she sends out the war machines, there's a point where she's like, hey, every one of these is destroyed except this one particular sector. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when we get the reveal of Captain America.
After that, as you just said, that happens right on this page right here where, no one's supposed to be getting out. And then after that, you have Captain America getting out with more people. Yeah, Steve finally makes his appearance after, basically not being in the last issue at all, honestly. And then Tony's like, man, Steve, you're late. And then at a single point, the xenomorphs are coming to attack everyone. And then Captain America is taking care of them. Bruce makes the decision that he can't just sit by and let his friend die. So he basically just
great dialogue also.
That was very good. That was very cool.
Very good. Basically, like, they're leaving. Iron Man has already primed the engines of what everybody thought was a giant skyscraper. But what it is it's actually a ship that he built the city around so no one would know that that's a ship. So they couldn't target it. And it's also a life seeding ship, a planet seeding ship, so that they could find a new planet, seed life. They could grow crops. They could do all this stuff. It's self-sustaining. And what's crazy is Steve comes while they can't cancel the liftoff. They have 1 minute and he's over 10 miles away. And Banner's like, I can't leave my friend. And Tony's like, dude, we need you more now than ever. We need your mind more than they need your brute force. And he says, I can't do that to a friend. And he's like, you can't leave. You can't leave. And what's crazy is he turns back to him and he says, I can't do that to a friend. If I did, and he jumps all the way those miles, he says, I'd be a monster. And it's like, damn, dude. That hits
pretty hard. Yeah, man. Way better than fucking going out in rain and getting drenched.
Dude, I paid a lot of crim for that rain, and we ain't seen no rain in the Redlands for 22 aughts. Hey, there's some rain now. Let's dance in it.
You know what's also crazy with
Superman?
Marvel comic? This is a comic that literally has come out so sporadic and so spread out. Marvel Comics just can't help themselves in a 40-page book. You're paying $7.99 plus tax for ads. After Bruce makes that big decision, ad. After that, ad. Good Lord, you're already paying $7.99 plus tax for this. Can you Marvel, lessen the ads on books we're paying $7.99 for? Bend us over and fuck us more, please.
We see Captain America take them out, right? And this is literally how it goes. Ad. Then the Hulk doing the jump. Ad. Literally 2 ads on 3 pages in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Captain America finally comes out, takes out the Xenomorphs and that cool shield bounty does. Hey, aren't you guys reading Iron Man from fucking Spencer Ackerman? Guys, that's the joke. No one's reading that.
And this is so sad, too. This panel right here, where Hulk comes in and he's helping them. And you see at the top Tony's face. And then you just see in the background the ship has left Earth.
Yeah. So like Jonathan Hickman is basically writing the Avengers pretty much like at their, not like at their, well, to be good, you'd be at your lowest.
And
at
by the
your
way,
lowest.
sorry to interrupt. Right afterwards, ad. God damn it!
Don't you love that emotional attachment, that emotional buildup Jonathan Hickman just did? Oh fucking hell, ad.
Yeah. So you were saying he's writing.
Oh no, he basically kind of brought up the Avengers to be at a point where they have to basically choose. Do they sacrifice the few for the many? And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's a really nice thing where Tony's not going to sacrifice all those other people just for the few. And it's like, damn, he has to leave behind brute like Hulk and Cap
and a few hundred people, that he brought with him. And it's like, it sucks because they only have 1,400 people and he's like, look, we can repopulate. We're not some like throwing rock civilization. We're industrialized. We have an advantage here. We can do this. And they're actually on their way to Mars first to stop off and see the mutants who left. If you remember from Hickman's X-Men, that he built the Krakoa gates so they could go through the different gates and go to anywhere they want. So apparently they left to Mars. And I have a sneaking suspicion because the way that Hickman was going, there was some Mr. Sinister stuff happening, and I'm wondering if Sinister is going to have anything to do with the next book or the.
That's what I thought too. Because when we talk a little bit later, that reveal later on, I was like, that looks like Mr. Sinister. I know who he would look like any day. Because like after that, guys, you get the emotional like moment where you have Miles and Captain Marvel and Tony just kind of just feeling pretty much like a piece of shit for leaving their friends behind, and then you get this other reveal of these aliens, or I don't know who, well, we don't know who they are yet.
There was another ad too.
Oh yeah, thank you for the ad, Marvel. Thank you.
2 ads. Yeah, and then another one.
You get the reveal of these aliens, or we don't know who they are, talking in their alien language, and then it just says infection, and then that. Oh my god, more ads! Yeah, fucking hell! I hate these people.
Yeah, so it's like to be continued, and there's. What's crazy is in the beginning there was only the 3 synthetics. So I'm wondering, did one replace him, or because they show up on this
alligator Loki.
So that's
don't you feel happy?
It says fa la 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 alligator.
This whole book has been about dread and sacrifice and being there for your comrades and sacrificing the few for the many. But hey, guys, Alyssa Wong, Bob Quinn, alligator Loki, happy, right?
Yeah, I will say the dialogue in this book for how heavy it was fantastic, in my opinion.
Given how many ad breaks in there and how much Marvel tried to cut off the emotional attachment to each scene, the dialogue in this book was phenomenal. It was very, very good.
The trade will be really good to read. I'll say that. It'll be a lot better with the dialogue heaviness. You'll be able to soak in the stuff without seeing happy. Have you read Iron Man? Nobody's fucking reading Iron Man. Nobody. Not like there's probably like 10 people reading Iron Man.
Okay, don't be that mean. There's really 5.
Okay, you want to know why? You want to know why I know that? So like when I went to the comic book store, because I didn't have issue number 1. I went to go look for it, and I was looking through a whole bunch of stuff, and they have like these catalogs and stuff. I went and I was looking through stuff, and I went to and I looked for everything. Literally, they had 1 through 15 of Iron Man, and it was like 12 issues of each number. They were all new.
I guarantee it was the Jerry Duggan run where they relaunched Iron Man with a new number 1, and it sold decently well. You know what's crazy? That's the very first series when I first started getting into this more heavily with everything that I know now. That was the first series I bought as an ongoing, and at some point I just stopped because I hadn't been reading it, and I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for trades, and I just bought the trades. And then they're like gonna renumber it and relaunch it with the new number 1 with this new crew they have. No one's talked about this at all. Like, it's so crazy how Iron Man is so popular in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, he's not a big. Yeah,
still not a big character in comics.
He's another guy. Like he had, some runs like Extremis and some other things that people could say,
in a bottle, stuff like that.
Stuff like that. But he works, in my opinion, for me, works better in the team.
Yeah, team aspect.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is also, I'm just saying that is also my lack of knowledge of Marvel. So I put that out there. Just because I don't have as much, but I don't have as much, knowledge in Marvel as I do DC, to where I can actually say I get more out of Iron Man whenever I read him on the Avengers or in somebody else's book than I do seeking out, Demon in a Bottle or, Extremis.
So
and stuff.
I'll ask you this, issue 2, any final thoughts and opinions on it? You enjoyed it? You liked it? Anything that you
I thought it was good. I think it's definitely leading to something cool. It's gonna wrap up very probably tightly,
That's the problem with it being 4 issues, though. It's like it's gonna have to wrap up with some stuff that is gonna have, I don't say plot holes, but you could tell they're gonna be, because it's 4 issues. There's not.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. I think the questions, though, sometimes that we ask aren't the questions he's putting out there. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's like where if you read those inlets, like you said, make sure you read those. So when you read the 3rd issue and you read that inlet, that's the stuff we should be focusing on. That's usually how he works. And unless he's doing something big, where I was surprised, I'm being dead serious. I'm surprised that he stayed on Spider-Man as long as he did. He's usually a guy that gets stuff off the ground and then he wants to move on to like the next arc of what he plans. And they're always like, no. This is selling crazy. You have to continue doing this. Like that's what happened with X-Men.
Yeah.
Like I was so happy when he took over the X-Men, and like the X-Men became relevant again. If you remember, for a year or two there, they were relevant. And
after
like,
Chris Claremont's run, I mean, he's the other guy that people think of when it comes to like, I liked his house. It was the House of X series with the whole Wanda. It was had Magneto try to kill her or whatever. She put everyone in the trance. That was I think Bendis, wasn't it? Because his was his Fall of X or House of X. No, there was House of X and Powers of 10. That was just a few years ago. The thing with Wanda, I believe, was God, why can't I think of it? That came before Avengers versus X-Men. I think that was House of M. That's what that was. House of M. Yeah, geez, man. That was like, years how do you not remember that? It's like, guys, sometimes when you read so many comic books, you just forget stuff. I'm sorry, we're not. I just don't have, like I said, the knowledge of Marvel as I do DC, but I believe I do have. Yes, it was House of M. That's what it was, because I have that right here. I knew it. Avengers versus X-Men, I believe. Oh God. But as you guys know, for myself, I like the first issue. I like this issue. I hope the other 2 issues are good. Kind of the same way I feel about the Naruto XTMNT crossover. Like, you only have 4 issues, no filler. None of that needs to happen. I need each issue to be getting and going somewhere, But if you do choose to wait to purchase this, series as a graphic novel or a trade paperback, as they call them nowadays, this is going to flow much better as a trade. Guys, there's too many bullshit ads with Marvel when you read this series. Literally, everything he was trying to emotionally grip you into in this book was stopped by an ad. Marvel, just put all the ads in the back. Holy mother of God, man. God, I hate this company sometimes. But yeah, I'll just say I like the series so far. It's very intense. It's very gripping. The Xenomorph is always still a treat to see whenever you do see it. So yeah, can't wait to read issue 3 and 4 and wrap the series up. Oh, wait a minute. Issue 4 ain't dropping until June. By the time we're doing this, you guys have already seen this video, but good Lord. Thank you, Marvel, for delaying this really cool series just constantly, because you're just a fucking piece of shit, washed up company with no ideas. But nevertheless, tell me how you really feel. Yeah, you guys. Like we said, just have it finished, and then you could have done May, June, July, August. That would have been a great thing for summer. Wait a minute. Good ideas. Marvel, you don't say. Fucking hell. But they're the house of ideas. They're supposed to be the house of ideas. They're the house of relaunching and renumbering. And we get like, and we get like for next week, like, don't we get the start of the Superman? Summer of Superman starts this week. I think it's this week. This week? Is it tomorrow? Comes out today. Yeah, it drops this week. Yeah. So I go to the comic book store tomorrow, so I will see it. I'm gonna make. You know what, dude? That would be, how awesome would that be? You're on the road, and I'm at the comic book store, and you go live in the car, and I talk to you from the comic book store. Because I did my comic book market watch, and I saw the Summer of Superman and the DC Sonic Hedgehog issue number 2. Those are dropping tomorrow. Oh, dude, I like the DC and Absolute Sonic. Flash too.
Yeah, Absolute Flash 2 is tomorrow.
Are you reading Detective Comics by Tom Taylor at all?
So I
You
have.
said you didn't like the Ram V stuff. Remember you said that.
Well, it's not that I did. It's just it was so weird.
That's what people keep saying. It's weird and it's kind of boring when you keep going through it.
It was, but I say this: the first Tom Taylor issue I thought was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The first Detective Comics where like Thomas
all
Wayne
in
was alive and he was talking. Yeah, if all in,
everything's a jumping on point. Yeah, it's crazy.
He was talking
They're gonna
about
do that all in
Chill.
saga book where everything's a jumping on point. Guys, they're gonna put Wonder Woman issue like 17 there. How in the world is the 17th issue a jumping on point? What is wrong with you, DC? Jesus Christ, man. But
yeah, we get Detective Comics tomorrow. Absolute Wolverine 4. Ultimate Wolverine 4, Absolute Flash 2, Nightwing 125. World's Finest 38. So that
the VR Yesterday event starts in that one, right?
Starts in that one, yes, and that crosses over into the Justice League Unlimited.
But wait a minute, I'm gonna have to betray these guys. But yeah, nevertheless, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're gonna sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. So yeah, before we get to our next topic, I'm just gonna get a drink really quick because I am thirsty.
And Red Code 11 comes out. I started liking that actually. I've been reading it and I've actually started to like it. It's definitely different, but it's cool. I think it's a cool idea. I really like that. I like Hyde Street a lot. I think Hyde Street is going to be the sleeper. Like when that comes
I read
out
all that stuff in their preview book. So the only thing I read all the stuff in their preview book. I liked Rook. I did like Geiger. Red Coat was a pretty cool idea. Like a guy in like the history who's an immortal who can't die. It's a cool concept. I like it.
And it got like it has the most issues out of Geiger does, but he wrote that like the first 12 so many years ago. But they're on Red Coat 11. That seems to be coming out more frequently, like normally.
Hyde Street, I did like it.
Hyde Street, cool. Ivan Reis, dude, is just his art is freaking
Rockefellers seemed interesting, but I don't know if that series would have any legs.
I don't know. Like I haven't read that one and the other one I haven't read.
Halo?
Yeah, Bubsby and Halo, Bubsy or whatever it is.
Like Halo's canceled in 5 issues. I'm calling it right now. No one's reading that shit. That is so trash. I read issue 1. It's a preview in that book. Horrible.
Yeah, I read the preview in the Ghost Machine book. So and here's the thing.
Jeff, what are you thinking, man? Well, that's not selling.
Okay, but here's the thing though. With Jeff Johns, he is very good, just like Hickman. If you read Hickman's X-Men, he is very good at taking a character that you think is nothing and then turning it into something. So with the Unnamed War, I'm wondering if those two, the Rockefellers and the Busby and whatever in Halo, are essential to that story. Like, put it this way, like with Hickman's X-Men, whenever they figured out a way to revive mutants, like, right, so they couldn't die, freaking Egg the mutant who had like all he could do is produce eggs became super important.
So just women in general? The setup was so there. And then I just dunked it.
I mean, I guess, but Egg's a dude.
Damn.
So
don't give Marvel any ideas. Do not give them any more ideas.
So your Jordan symbol was a little bit short. You almost dunked it. It was a half dunk. It was dunked. It was fine.
Oh God.
But yeah, there's some decent stuff coming out tomorrow. So, are you going to read the Superior Avengers?
You get your mind.
I don't know. I might grab it just to see what
there's a Jason Aaron omnibus for Wolverine that comes out. That's probably gonna be more interesting than that.
Yeah. So
okay. I think for trades, there's Wolverine Deep Cut. I read issue 1. That was really good. That was really good with Chris Claremont. You have Ultimate Black Panther, Volume 2 that comes out, and then you have Black Panther versus Predator that drops tomorrow, and then you have a Black Widow Epic Collection that, that's the joke. No one's gonna be reading that, but You're still gonna do it.
I bought the George Perez volume 1 and 2 of Wonder Woman. They actually had that at the comic shop. So I was like, oh, sweet. And man, I miss George Perez. That art, dude, in that Wonder Woman book is so good. It is so freaking good.
I get Wolverine Deep Cut, the trade. If you see it tomorrow, I'm getting it. Issue 1 is so good. Issue 1 was
I'll get it.
That shit was. I haven't read the rest of them. I can't recommend the rest of the issues, but issue 1 is, man, I can't believe it wouldn't end as good as it started.
All right, so
I didn't hear good things about Black Panther versus Predator. I didn't hear good thing about that one.
My limit is $350 tomorrow. So
did your wife give you that?
No. That's in my comic book money.
Oh.
I take money out of each paycheck and put it into a separate account.
That's probably usually my range of it too.
Is that's, you know, now, like, that's not every week. That's not
because there's weeks that where nothing basic comes out. Yeah. Dude, have you had weeks where only like 2 things come out?
Yeah, I usually allot myself like $500 a month if I'm buying Omnis. If I'm not buying Omnis, then it's usually like whatever. It's like 150, depending on what I'm buying. Because I buy, there is a lot of stuff that I buy DC wise that I haven't read, you know, because I'm up to issue. It'll be 38 of the World's Finest Batman, Superman. Like, so, you know, I have all of those. I'm not currently up to date on reading it, but I am, you know, I do read it. No, I have all the issues, so I'll just read them.
Oh, you're good. Summer of Superman spell. Oh my god! Like, you guys don't know how happy I am for Superman to be getting all this love. And DC, I mean, like, I think Warner Brothers is deluded that this is gonna translate into like fucking the movie. People are gonna go buy the books. Guys, no, this is just for comic book nerds like us. I'm just glad Superman's getting.
The only way that it's going to is if you see like commercials on TV for it and ads and all this. Go buy this because it.
The only thing they did that for is the Compact Comics. That's the only thing they did an ad for on TV.
Yes,
and that sold very well, and I'm glad they did. But this naivety they still have in the industry that if they make a Superman movie, then that means that the comic books will just sell. Do you know what's crazy, dude? Marvel even does a saga of series for when a Marvel character gets a movie. They sell very well. The graphic novel sales show that they sell well, but that's only for comic book people. That it's someone normies aren't walking out there and being like, man, I want to grab a saga of Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier.
Dude, you're so happy you're gonna be there on Thursday, so you could say stuff like normies and all the lingo that you love.
I can be the top G finally again.
You could say all that shit. That's just like I'm sure I would have fun, but I would just so not fit in. I'd be like, why are you talking like that?
There's going to be
talking
clicks.
Like that.
I will say this though. There's going to be people that are going to be insufferable. But then again, there are people that are not insufferable. I mean, I could tell you who the
like I said,
I'm not hanging out with the insufferable ones. Fuck that.
I would definitely say I would have fun 100%. It's just whenever like things go on, like if they do like a live podcast, like some of the stuff that they say, I'd be in the back like, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking idiot.
Why are you yelling?
That's not how things work in real life.
You got to do the thing of like, you kids got to get off my lawn.
If I punched you in the face, guaranteed you ain't punching me back.
Why are you so violent? Oh my god. Let me put my new titles into my
Tell me you wouldn't pay money to watch that though.
I asked Selena and Green Hair Anti-Liberal to do a oil matchup, half naked.
Yeah, that's a girl like with you.
I may or may not have suggested it.
Come on, dude. Like you're telling me that YouTube throwdowns.
Are you gonna get this cover?
Nerds
this is the one awesome. This is the one for DC and Sonic issue 2. This is one
I will definitely grab any variant cover that they have there. Like I did the last ones.
This is the only one that I saw when I was doing my Marvel watch.
Yeah, then yeah,
this is so damn good.
They'll have it because they said that sold tremendously whenever I was there. So for them at least, like I said though, but Pittsburgh, like I said, Pittsburgh is does pretty well with comics. You know, we have like in the vicinity of like 3 miles, there's like 3 or 4 comic book shops. So like they do very well.
I'm so damn lucky. I can't believe
I have to drive 45 minutes to get there though. And that's only if there's not traffic. That's why I always
you live in the mountains essentially. There should be no traffic going down most of the time.
Going down, but getting onto the highway. Once I get onto the highway, once I get on 279, yes, there is traffic.
Oh God.
Like getting halfway there, yeah, I won't see anybody. Like there'll be nobody. But as soon as I get on to 279, going towards Pittsburgh, like the actual.
You said your wife
Pittsburgh
bought
area.
a new car, right?
Yeah. Well, I bought her a car. Yeah.
You bought her what, a Dodge Charger? You said?
No. She we have a
family van.
No, we have a family car, and it's a Buick Encore.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which is very nice.
Yeah.
That's what we'll take tomorrow because my son, he likes going to the mall. They have like this place thing, and he'll run around with the little kids. But they have this like arcade that has like not VR game, but they're like you stand in like kind of like like the old school games like Time Cop, where you're actually standing on a platform using the guns and stuff. They have a bunch of those machines. So he'll go play that. And they have a Sonic the Hedgehog game where you're running on a little treadmill and you like stamp your feet and stuff. He loves Sonic. He's obsessed with Sonic.
Do you guys have a Dave and Buster's out there?
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those are very fun.
It's close. That's about an hour away. It's about 15 minutes away from Pittsburgh. But yes, we do have one there. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just trying to go through all this new stuff to add to my pull list. I probably won't buy floppies from Cosmic Comics when I'm there. I'm probably just gonna grab a few trades or whatever.
That's what I would do, dude. I would look that, and I would, if there's something like, say that you're missing from a specific, say if you do need a floppy, say if you had like issue 1, 3, and 4, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you will find like those places that are big like that will have a lot of those things.
The only one that I might buy there straight up, instead of just waiting for it, is the Summer of Superman one. That's the one that I.
Well, that one, yeah, that might be fun to read, to buy. You know,
because right now, if I add in everything that I have to add, because right now it's still not updated for all the newest stuff. I just have to add in Ultimate Wolverine. And that's it. I don't think they have it here yet. Nope, they just have a bunch of. No, let me see if they do. Let me scroll down before we do our next video.
Should be there because it's.
Yeah, on mycomicsstore.com, it should be here. Okay, I'll update it right now. It should be here. If it's here, yeah. I add that in, and then I'm good to go.
Because issue 4, that should be. You should be good on that. Because I got those.
I was just gonna think about if I'm at Cosmic Comics, then I'll just probably buy some trades there because usually trades are somewhat cheaper at stores because they don't really mark it up MSRP. Sometimes it depends.
So I've been reading a lot of the One World Under Doom thing, and I've been reading a lot of the tie-ins too, which are a little bit rough. So, but yeah.
Oh, you said to add Ultimate or Absolute Manhunter. Let me add that because I don't forget.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to get it. I'm just saying
try it out. Bad, I want to roast you. I need this in my life.
I don't think it's bad. I showed you what the art looked like.
Where?
On Twitter.
Wait, did that book Ultimate Absolute March Mentor that came out like last week or the week before that one?
I think
so it came out the March 26th week, right? I think
maybe.
So. Yeah. Here we go. I'll just add it. You know what? I'll try anything out once. We'll see where it goes. I always try the first issue, and we'll see where it goes.
The story is fantastic.
You're good. You're fine.
And like I said, I showed you the art. It is nowhere near as bad as what the cover is. The cover,
that might be the single worst cover I've ever seen.
No, not ever. No.
You don't think so? That's pretty bad. Well, you're right. There's probably worse.
Because if you look at the actual guy underneath, it doesn't look that art is fine. It's just that face. That's it. It's just the face of the Martian. That's the only thing that's bad. I hope that's not what he looks like. Like I said in the book, the only thing we saw of that is what his son sculpted. We didn't see that as him, but the art in it is fine. Like I showed you panels from it.
Okay, here we go.
It looks like through the whole book.
All my stuff is added. So the one that I'll make the exception for that because we'll have them here is DC Sonic. Get the Summer of Superman special. Okay, so I'll just add all this up in my cart. Let me see how much it's gonna cost when I get paid. Because that's what I sometimes do for my pull list. I'll just buy everything when I I get paid. That way it's just all at once. And it's usually like 15, 16 books. Let me see what's going to come out to. It's going to come out to like probably like $80.
So I got Absolute Batman #7, right? Which has a great cover. Great cover, right? Did you read this at all? I'm gonna guess no, you did not read Absolute Batman.
A black person reading. We've been through this.
So if you
the
think
only thing I've heard,
listen, if you think Martian Manhunter looks awful, I can't wait to see what you think of Mr. Freeze.
Okay, I'll say this because I know you're on Facebook too. I'm pretty sure you're in some of those comic book groups. Did you see that picture of Bruce's face in that book? Someone leaked it to me, and it looks so bad.
What, from Absolute Batman 7?
Someone said that Victor Goda is not the artist on that one. They said it's
for 7.
He's the backup. Yeah, they say he used the backup guy on there again.
No,
that's what they said. I mean, I could be wrong, or
maybe the new in issue 8, but issue 7, it's him. Oh no, it isn't. It's Martin. That's who it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh no, Martin. Can't trust a motherfucker named Martin.
You know, it's funny. Dude, there is, I don't know, dude, I'll show you a panel. So you remember how he's talking about all those black sites that go up and they're doing like mysterious military work there and biochemical engineering and stuff. And there was that island that they set up early on in the series. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he meets up with one of his buddies, Bruce does, right? Yeah. And he's like trying to get in there. And this guy he's a low-level criminal and can get him paperwork to get in there, right? So when he meets up with them, the dude's like, I've already been in there. And Bruce is like, why did you do that? He's like, I'm the one that's supposed to be in there. He's having a conversation with him. Then all of a sudden, this dude, his face starts doing something. It starts bleeding, and then he dies. This is the panel that they showed.
Oh, just wow.
Holes in his face, and then he just, like, yeah. But there are some really weird, like, faces that Bruce makes, like this right here. But the art's it's not bad like that issue 4 or whatever, 3 or whatever of Absolute Batman was. Like the last artist, it's nowhere near that. This reminds me
and Gwen. Yeah, he was horrible in issue 4. Yeah.
This reminds me more of the Absolute Martian Manhunter art. That's what it reminds me of.
Damn, fucking DC. Jesus Christ.
But that panel, like when he was talking and that dude that happened, I'm like, what? I was like, what the fuck? It looked like Swiss cheese. But I got this variant cover for issue 7. I thought was awesome.
That looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. And this one was okay. It tried to look like Alex Ross, but it's not. You know, like it's okay.
Let's do it really quickly here. Setting up our last thing, getting things ready. So I'll probably get a few of the titles there, or I may just wait to get them. Summer of Superman. I can't wait for it, guys. Can't wait for DC to do all these ideas for Superman. And they go like, how do we get no new readers? You thought movie fans were going to go read comic books? You guys are delusional. There's no saving you at this point. What's the definition of insanity, guys? At this point,
doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
So basically, marriage with my wife. Crazy, huh? So next week, I told you let's do Hush. Holy fuck, you have to do that, honestly. We'll either do that one, Absolute Superman, or we'll do Aliens vs. Avengers 3. We'll choose one of them. So, holy crap, guys. You know what's crazy?
Made me rebuy a Hush book that I couldn't find. I did.
Which one did you buy? Did you buy the second edition?
I bought Heart of Hush.
I found mine. I think I did.
I couldn't find it. So
you couldn't find you. I thought you said I have all these books and I know exactly where they're at in alphabetical order.
I have never said that.
Have your wife sort them. What is she doing?
What do you mean? She works.
After she gets off, she can sort the books.
No, she cooks and stuff for me, and then.
You know what's crazy? People ask me why don't I sort them. I'm just lazy. I don't care.
I have a lot of stuff sorted. I do. but I am also.
There's no way you sort the floppies, do you? There's no way.
So yes and no. Yes, what I do is I have a box that's right next to me, right?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of old diaper boxes. I'm dead serious. And I fold them in and I put them in until they're filled. And then I go and get a long box and then I get title cards and then I put them in there that way. Because I figure it's easier if I just do it this way because I'm, we're reviewing or reading and then I just have them in order like this.
So for Superman, I know you said you wanted to do some books for Superman.
Here's this. I have all these. These are all like the absolute books and variants and stuff. So like this stuff right here is all the stuff that we've been doing lately. This Huggies box. So like there's Batman,
Are
Superman.
You saying that I deserve to be in a Huggies box?
No, those are comic books.
Oh crap. Oh, and since you guys know the Summer of Superman events coming for DC, we're gonna do our own Summer of Superman here. Laps wanted to go over this book, which was Superman Secret Origins.
I didn't say I want to go over the book. I just said that's a very good book. You have a very weird way.
Lies.
Go back to the video. All I said is this is an awesome origin.
I know. Black people lie. I have to make a fake narrative.
And he's like Lap said he wants to do this book. That never happened.
God.
That never happened.
I will
do it. But I will do it because I think it's awesome. I would definitely.
Gary Frank's art is woo.
There's some facial expressions in there, like with Lex Luthor, that are fucking crazy hilarious. Like he just does facial. It's always like, like I explain it like this. Like when someone takes a picture and you're not ready, and you get that one picture where you're like, your face is all weird or whatever. Like he does that very well. Like he can capture that type of thing.
So after this fire truck goes, we'll do our only topic for today. It's something that you want to talk about with the Batman, actually, because there's been an update on the situation. But no, we'll do the Hush stuff. We're going to get that done, and then we're going to do the Superman stuff. It's going to all come out. But I remember what you said about Hush, not just going through the book like we usually do. We're going to make sure we make bullet points of like, okay, these are the main things to tackle. That book is big. That book's
that's what I'm saying. Pages. I think if we did Hush like that, and then we just kind of roundabout talked about Heart of Hush, made it the Hush special. Like that's for us.
In my butthole.
You had to ruin it. You just had to ruin it. You had to ruin it.
My jokes won't work on this guy.
What is Hush in a butthole?
Wow.
No, pretend to me that I understand nothing. What was the joke?
There wasn't. I was just doing for shock value. Her boobs are pretty big. Damn, these are juicy. Fuck.
Well, maybe you just gotta make sure that you're on a plane with her, and if that plane goes down, you're good.
I will say this: someone
said, like my wife.
Someone said if they had to read Deadpool and Wolverine WWE3 again, they would walk out of a plane. I actually laughed out loud so hard. That book's trash.
I remember that one of the first times that I was on the show. You remember we talked about that for like 5 minutes.
Deadpool Wolverine. If you read it, I want you to. Adam Kubert's art is amazing. Adam Kubert's art is fucking great.
Yeah, and Kubert's are always good. Yeah.
God, but Joe Kelly, I know he did good stuff on Spider-Man in the past, and he did the Deadpool that everyone knows and loves. But goddamn, Deadpool Wolverine WWE3 is that's the worst thing I've read so far in these past few years. That book is trash. And then Marvel is like, you want to buy it for $9.99? It's not MSRP. It's like, I wouldn't buy that for $5. I wouldn't buy that for a penny. That book is garbage. I'd rather wipe my ass with a fucking leaf than read that pile of shit again.
Orange Avenger says that the buttholes should hush.
Orange Avenger, what's up, buddy? He was on last night's show when James came on and he was just talking for hours, and I was like, all right. I ended up 5 hours showing forever, and he just ended up just
quiet assholes. That could be the compendium for the end of your comic book.
Good Lord, man. Before we do our topic, you wanted to see the comment the guy left me. Oh my God, I told you I let that guy left me that essay comment on one of my market watches for comic books, and I told people, yeah. And I even told people, hey, I literally, because I will agree that might have been his first video, first impressions and all that shit. I agree. If that's your first video you've seen, I might give you that impression. But I told people in the previous episodes, hey, I'm not reading everything currently right now. We'll get to it. we're going to make time for everything in the long run, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm doing with these videos is just highlighting to you. You might still have this book on your pull list. You might want to take it off if you're not still reading it. Or if you are reading it, you might want to go to your shop and pick this up. Or if you're someone that's kind of like in maybe wanting to get in the comics, but you don't know where to start, these titles for this character you might like from a movie is coming out. You might be interested. It's just like an informative video for people that are interested in floppies and manga and everything.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like you're the be all and you're just you're giving your opinion.
So that's all. I'm just trying to help people. That's really all it is.
So like, regardless of, like I said, that's why I had to make the statement earlier. It was the Wayland Corporation part of it, because I didn't know. I don't watch those movies. Like, that's not something that
I remembered. I just don't want to say anything out of like, I hate it when I'm not confident in something. Like, usually when I'm confident, I'll be like, I know this happened, you know? Yeah. But if I don't remember, it's like, oh, fuck. Here, I want you guys to see this. And we'll go to the topic after this and we'll wrap it up in a little bit here. It won't be long. So he was like, and this person, literally on Facebook, in one of the groups, he tried to get me banned. He was like, man, this guy was talking about stuff he doesn't know about. And I was like, dude, because he was being relatively cordial here. And then in one of the comic book community Facebook groups, I think it's Comic Book Corner with Mike the Spider Slayer, his comic book group, he was so two-faced. He was like, I don't know. I was like, okay, if you're going to act one way on one platform, you have to when we're here, I'm not interacting. I just blocked him. I don't usually block people on Facebook, but that really just was like, no, you can never interact with me ever again. You burnt that bridge. So here's some constructive criticism. A few things. The whole introduction is ridiculous. This I don't mind because I was trying to set up these first episodes to be like jumping in points. We're like, okay, this is, if you want to know what the series is about, this is what the series is about. This is the format. This is what I'm doing in the series. That's it. This I don't really mind. That's completely fine. Also, the descriptions of letting us know about segments. I mean, I don't know why that's a problem. I'm just letting you know what the format of the show is going to be. It's what every format of a show ever does. I guess I mispronounced Green. Oh, you know that Jeremy Adams series, Green Lantern Corps or Corpse or whatever. I guess I pronounced it Corpse, and it's like, I don't know why that would be a problem. Dropping F-bombs. He says, your opinions are yours and you're entitled to them. Like, thank you. Okay, cool. But they aren't very educated. I never said they were. I'm just giving you my opinions. I never said they were educated. I'm just giving you my experience. That's all I ever said. And come off really shallow and generic. All right, I guess. This is the one where I was like, what are you tripping about? Your comparison of One Piece and Action Comics is also invalid. You're comparing weekly manga chapters from shonen to full-colored, full-issue comic books. I didn't. That never happened. I said that it is impressive that Oda got One Piece to 1,000 chapters plus, doing it weekly, and it has more issues in it than Action Comics and Detective Comics. That is impressive, no matter how much you try to slice it. I don't care if manga doesn't have color. Like, oh my God. Who gives a fuck about your excuses? Those are excuses. He did it with also being under a much harsher deadline when it comes to, you know, the manga stories. These guys are under much harsher conditions.
Dude, I remember
what Taikubo went through?
I remember Kishimoto was like, yeah, I am wrapping this up because if I don't, I'm going to kill myself.
Remember the My Hero Academia guy, Hirokoshi? He literally, guys, tried to wrap it up in a movie because he was that burnt out. These manga guys, I respect all the manga guys, and they definitely work harder than a lot of these comic artists we have here. And they're doing this every week. You guys get a book every month. They do it every week. They're not, there's levels to that, okay? But he said apples to oranges. Oh, whatever. Jesus Christ. Action Comics started as a 64 full page, and I was like, I know this. Why do people tell me stuff I already know? I know that.
Okay, here's what I'm sorry for interrupting you, but this is what I'm going. I read this whole thing, right?
Yeah, you good.
If you don't want to hear people swearing, then don't fucking watch. Okay, just don't.
You fucking bastard! Why are you fucking swearing, you son of a bitch?
If you don't want to hear it, then that's fine. Me personally, I don't know what type of friends that you have, but when I talk with my friends, we swear all the time.
That's what kind of guys do.
That's kind of what this is supposed to be. If you are here to get the comics explained or comic pop or that type of in-depth knowledge of comic books,
yeah,
then you are at the wrong place. We are reading stuff that we either like or what is supposed to be popular at the time, and we're giving our opinion. Do I do this on my comic book channel? No. I actually have fun here. Like, so.
Yeah, and I've never said that
even if you did, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The dude's like, he's entitled to what he says, but some of the things, like, again, the language. Shut the fuck up, you pussy.
Like where he says, One Piece is a weekly black and white manga. Okay, cool. I'll do whether it changes anything I said. He still has the achievement over Action and Detective Comics being more. Just pointing it out there, and it's weekly with it's a smaller group of people editing manga chapters than it is for mainstream comic books. He says that has nothing to do with American comics. I never said it did. I just said it was impressive that he can do it longer. Sorry, I said it was impressive that he could do it given how much and how long he's did it weekly. But reading this guy
doesn't even matter though.
Oda is also very sick at the moment. Also, he said Oda is very sick at the moment, and why they took a 2-week break. First of all, I know that. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. Oda's sick. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, I don't know what this has to do with any of this. Okay, Oda's sick. You know what? All right. And that's why his art's not detailed. Never cared for that. I don't give a shit. Manga arts, American comic artists are way better than manga artists. I'm just telling you that right now. Their art's way more detailed, way more layered, way better, but I don't care if it's not detailed anymore. He said, it's an amazing feat for an amazing artist, but doesn't deserve all the goddams you're saying. Yes, he does. It's weekly. He's doing this weekly since 1977.
No, 1997.
Sorry, 1997. He's been doing it weekly.
And the best thing about this is, dude, if you want to come on and you want to say something like that and you want to give your detailed explanation, all you have to do is come on the show. Be a man. Stand by what you say. I'll sit here and listen to what you have to say and stare you in the face. Are you man enough to put yourself on camera and say what you want to say? Hiding behind words is very easy to do when you're not there to actually say them to someone's face. When you're making a point like this,
he said, don't really understand the point here. You're reading descriptions of new trade paperbacks.
That's
the reason why I read them. The reason why I do it is because it lets people know the page count, which a lot of people care about, and the amount of money you're going to spend on it. There's no reason. First of all, the guy that is on near mint condition, near mint condition does it. Omar does it, and there's another guy that I'm watching, Dominic. He does that. That's where I got the format from. I copied it from them.
Here's the thing, though, dude. It's your channel. Who cares?
And he said you're giving baseless opinions with no background and plenty of cussing. Then your mom comments, wow, good luck with this content. And I was like, all right. I mean, I didn't say my opinion. I said they're just my opinions. If I need to get educated more, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. And
dude, it's comic books.
But I do respect this. He did take enough consideration to write all that out. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't agree with what he said at all, but I do respect it. I will say that.
The point is it's comic books. They're supposed to be fun. Dude, do you want me to make a video and I will give you a tour of my library? Do you think I'm buying these things because I don't read them? But do I remember everything that I read? No, I don't remember. I don't pride myself on the shit that I fucking remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry, I don't but I'll have a discussion about the stuff. But I don't, okay. A perfect example, like whenever we're doing reviews and you might skip over something and I'll be like, hey, okay, so this and this, but do I sit here and make fun of you and say, oh, you fucking dumbass, you didn't say this?
Reminded me last time that Iron Man was in the first book and I was like, he's right. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe I just misspoke.
I just fill in the gaps. It's fine. It's comic books. They're supposed to be fun. When you take them too seriously, that's when shit stops being fun. That's why a lot of the stuff that they put in there, their geopolitical bullshit, it stops becoming fun, right? Is it cool to hear other guys? That's why, and I've said it, like when I was on my channel, right? I had a few comments that were like that, and all I said was this, like, because someone wrote like, more panels, less you, right? And I said, that's fair. I said, but here's the thing. I was like,
what the fuck?
I don't have a problem with someone saying that. I was like, here's the thing. You could go to 20 other comic book channels and watch them. If you're already watching that stuff, what is the catch of me doing exactly what they're doing? So let me get this right. You just go there and you watch people tell you what they're looking at multiple times a day about the same thing?
You would be not getting to that commentary that happened when I was big in the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And this is why I sometimes shit on fans, because sometimes fans are stupid. Fans want other creators to be like the bigger guy and then get mad at the smaller creator when they're not like the bigger guy, and they criticize smaller creators for not standing out. It's like, the other one he said,
do I appreciate the people? I've always said I appreciate the subscribers I have. I've always wanted to do, my thing was I always wanted to do enough subscribers to where when I did a live show, people showed up and we talked and had fun. Right.
Yeah.
But like, I was just getting back into comics after a while. That's why it's called the Lapsed Comic Fan. Like, that's what the whole show was. It was me getting back into it, being an out of touch older person. I might not look old, but I am comparatively to most people that are in this, medium. And it was me being out of touch with reality, getting back into comic books. Right. And like, first show I ever did, I did with my wife. She don't read fucking comics. She don't give two shits about this, and like I would make mistakes on stuff. Right. And people would call you out. So like, this is what I did. I put the mistakes into the next video, the comments, and I was like, oh God, oh no. And went on with my life because don't care. Like, it's fine. And that's not a cop out for making mistakes or anything like that. That's just me saying, like, I'm admitting, yes, okay, I made a mistake or I screwed something up.
I'm actually glad when people tell me that. That way I know.
That's fine. I don't even look at it like that. I look at it as like, dude, it's fucking comic books. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. And also, that's a horrible assumption on the fans to just think that the very person they're watching should just know everything and be an encyclopedia. Guys, I don't know everything. I never said I did. I don't know where that assumption came from. I've never said that. I've never implied that. I've just implied things that I've seen for many years, that I've talked to people.
Well, and the internet is it. Listen, everybody is a Harvard graduate when you have Google at your fingertips. And that's what I've said. People say, I don't believe you're reading week to week. Well, guess what? By your description, I believe you're reading Wikipedia week to week. 100%. Number one, I don't believe that you make the same money that I do to go out and buy the things that I buy. I'm not saying that I'm better than you in any way, but I could tell you that my tax bracket is in the 20%.
Like, the IRS would need some money from because you make so much kind of money kind of thing.
I'm, in the 20%. So like, pretty sure just by numbers, which I work with all day.
Yeah, when he said that, he told me like, I'm reading books weekly. I never said I did.
But we are reading books weekly.
Yeah, like I told people this. I will let you know. Yeah, I told people this. I will let you know what I'm reading, but if you're reading this, I would like to let you know it exists. That's all I said.
There's nothing wrong with telling people what's coming out. Who cares?
Like I told people this. People always pride themselves in this. They're like,
I'm talking too long about this. This is stupid.
Why are you yelling at me? God.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the situation. I just don't like. I don't like that type of like. If you literally took that much time out to tell someone what they're doing wrong on their own channel. Like, I'm not making content for one person. We can go to the topic. We have a lot of people that show up every show, and hopefully it grows from there. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, guess what? I love the fact that every time I come here, I see Michael, I see Emily, I see Z, I see the same. I love that stuff, man.
Don't lie to Michael like that.
I like Michael. I do.
No, tackle to your points. We get to the topic. What I'm saying is, like, I tell people all the time, if you think what any content creator is doing, whether you like them or dislike them, whether you like their political opinions or not, anything you're in, if you do not like what they're doing, fun fact here, guys. Great idea, revolutionary idea. Go make your own channel, do it yourself. You can be the thing that you don't like in other people. There's nothing stopping you. Go do it, and then we'll see, and I'll let you know, and you'll tell me how easy it is to remember things on the fly and research things and go through it. You know?
And that's
it.
fine. That's fine, and I am perfectly fine. I tell everybody, like, you could say whatever you want on my channel. I don't care. Do not care in the least bit. Say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that I have to like it or give a shit about it because I make videos. I've always said I didn't want a massive, successful channel. Because you want to know why I didn't want a massive, successful channel? Because I did not want to be beholden to people to make videos that they want to see, as opposed to ones I want to make.
She said, of course
I'm so sorry, Miss Sparkles. I can't forget you.
I do, because you're Miss Sparkles.
No, I like Miss Sparkles. I like her because she said exactly. Perfect example. At first, she was like, I don't think Laps likes me. And I was like, I like you. Just because we had a difference of opinion. I don't care. I'll talk to you all day.
Yeah, like,
yes, I am super gay, by the way.
God, good Lord, man.
I am so gay.
Oh, okay, Ryan Reynolds. We know Blake Lively likes pegging that guy. Because that's a fucking cuck fetish right there. No, I told you this. That's why I originally even did YouTube on that main channel that I lost back in the day. YouTube took it down for hate speech. I didn't like what other people were
bitter about that.
I didn't like what other people were doing, so I made a YouTube channel. And then I learned all the ropes, and now I'm better at it. Like, if you don't like what someone's doing, you go do it then. Tell me how easy it is then. You do it.
I just don't even feel spite. Personally, I don't feel spite like that. And that's fine if you do. I just look at it as like, dude,
I trash people.
There's just say what you want to say, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You put that comment down real quick. You should leave that up there for a second.
Women don't really deserve opinions, if we're being honest here.
She deserves all the opinion.
All right. So let's have some fun here. So, hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Batman Part 2's script is not done yet. So, Matt Reeves' The Batman came out back in 2022, and a lot of people have varying opinions on that Batman movie. For me personally, it has a lot of good things going for it, and it also has a lot of things that I don't like in it as well. Namely, I did not like Andy Serkis's Alfred. I thought his Alfred was not that good. I didn't really like, the whole Riddler that he was trying to do. I feel like that just could have been anarchy. If I'm being honest, like Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne was just not really hitting it for me. I get the idea behind it. It's kind of supposed to be the whole year 1, year 2 Bruce Wayne. I get it.
I just don't care if Bruce Wayne was even shown in that movie.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Like, there's things in there that I did enjoy. I didn't enjoy. But at this point now, I want people to understand the only reason why we've gotten this Matt Reeves Batman movie is because there was supposed to be one with Ben Affleck. Back in like 2018, 2017 with fighting Deathstroke. He quit Batman, and then they were already talking to Matt Reeves to do a Batman movie, which is so crazy. This is what DC's always failed. Like, you have a guy right here that you don't know if he's going to do Batman, so you go and rush to another guy for him to do a Batman movie, and then you wait for that guy to say, I'm not doing Batman, and then you go and fast track Batman with the other guy. Fucking crazy.
Warner Brothers. No, it's not DC. It's Warner Brothers, man.
God, man. You guys weren't around for the Zack Snyder, Jeff Johns, Ben Affleck era from 10 years ago. Oh, my God.
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
I feel like he really could have been the best Batman we ever had. He had the potential. It was there.
And you got to remember, like, Johns, like, there was so much studio involvement.
Oh God, you guys don't remember, man.
It was so studio heavy involved.
Yeah,
because anyway,
I will say this because remember when they announced Matt Reeves is going to be doing the Batman because
100% doing Batman. 100%, I agree.
That was announced back in like 2017 that Matt Reeves is going to do the Batman after their Ben Affleck debacle. Guys, it took that motherfucker like 6 years to even get the Batman to come out. Because he was also doing like the Planet of the Apes movies. No, I'm not making a black person joke. He was literally the director of the new ones, the first 3, or no, the second one. I think I forgot the first one was directed by someone else, but he directed the later 2 actually. And then you get this point where people are kind of like suspecting, is the Batman Part 2 going to be canceled because Matt Reeves has this like first look deal where they're supposed to give him basically like kind of like an Arkham Batman universe. It's supposed to be an Arkham Asylum series. The Penguin series did come out. Supposed to get the Batman Part 2. And
which was
always,
good, by the way.
Yeah, art's good. That's awesome. I'm glad people enjoyed it. And we don't know what's been going on because the Batman Part 2 just keeps getting delayed. People said Matt Reeves is going through some problems. If he really has health problems, I hope he feels better eventually. Hope he gets through them. But I don't know what his problems are. And at this point, I don't even know if they're going to cancel this movie. And the thing is differently with now is like you have the DCU coming. Do you want a competing Batman going up against the Batman that's going to be in the DCU? Because we know James Gunn's Batman is going to be from The Brave and the Bold, which is written by, that's Grant Morrison's run, where it introduces Damian Wayne, right? So you're going to have a Batman in the main universe.
Guess that's what they're calling it, but I mean, Batman Incorporated and Batman, just Batman was Damian.
Was Batman and Robin, one of those fucking ones, I forgot.
The movie itself, like, I would have no problem if it came out. Like, I would have no problem. I thought the atmosphere was amazing. I thought Gotham
looked
was
great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I still stand by that there was more detective work in that movie than people give it credit for. They just need to go watch it again.
Pay attention to a movie? Crazy. I'm not doing that. I was banging my wife.
Not saying it was... not saying it was all over the movie.
Oh God, making a cum joke. Oh no.
No, you were making it. I wasn't.
I'm just saying, like, if this ever was announced to be canceled, I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
No, I would not. I would not be surprised at all. I wouldn't be. Now, here's the thing. Do you think that they're waiting to see what happens with Superman, though, also?
That might be the thing, though.
Because if it's panned and doesn't do well, then I could see them going forward. Oh, the script made great strides. It's almost done. And then, but like, if it does well, why would you then have, another Batman in competition and confuse the audience?
Yeah, like, and James Gunn has said that he contemplated putting Robert Pattinson's Batman universe in the DCU. Like, if they retconned it to the point where that was the very first movie, I don't think this is the best Batman movie, but that wouldn't be a horrible start to a universe.
What problems you have with either the Bruce Wayne aspect or the Alfred aspect, fine, whatever. Those can be adjusted. The massive problem with this movie, in my opinion, was the ending of the movie. The end third of the movie.
He gets to be like a symbol of all that hope and shit.
No, it was more like how the Riddler had every piece in place through fucking YouTube. Like,
you mean Jigsaw? That guy was more Jigsaw than he was Riddler, for being honest here.
Right. That's fine. And
Jigsaw Jiggler. A jiggler.
Dude, I would be cool if it was Deuce Bigelow, male Gigolo. He was the bad guy, the jiggler.
The Batman 2 script update offered by Warner Brothers. The Batman 2 with
Orange
Robert
Avenger.
Pattinson.
It wasn't trash.
It
was a trash movie.
You know what's actually trash? Batman Hush. That was a pile of shit, actually.
The animated one?
Yeah, fuck that movie.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
The Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson gets a new DC update as
definitely doesn't wear turtlenecks, that's for sure.
Turtlenecks? Do you know how much I want to bang my wife? I'm joking. I have to entertain you. So, the Batman 2...
your dick is a turtleneck?
Yeah, good Lord, I hate you. Good fucking God. The Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson gets a new DC update as it remains to be seen when Matt Reeves' franchise will go forward, while the DCU timeline is developing its own reboot of the hero things are taking a bit longer than expected with the Batman universe, as a sequel to the 2022 installment is still intended to happen, as filming is reportedly set to begin at the end of this year. There is still a lot of questions about what's going on with Pattinson's sequel. Like, Robert Pattinson, didn't he do a new movie called Mickey 17? Isn't he going to be in he's going to be in a few other movies. I'm glad he's not waiting around for this, honestly. But he said he's still down to do it, Yeah. In a new interview with Deadline, Pam Adby and Michael DeLuca, who are the co-CEOs of Warner Brother Pictures, were asked about the progress of the Batman 2. However, it appears that the script is still being worked on, as Adby confirms Reeves is still working on it, while also noting she and DeLuca are not in the weeds on Reeves' Batman universe compared to James Gunn and Peter Safran's. So she said, we're not in the weeds on the Batman stuff. It's really James and Peter Safran who run DC. We have a bit of other collaboration with Matt Reeves, but Peter and James know he is a writer and directing auteur in his own right, and that it will come when he's written his best Batman script and is ready. Oh, I mean, to be fair, they have to say that. They can't just say it's canceled. But then again, I'll be honest here, I don't even think it's even halfway written. I don't think he's written shit constantly. Because if he has personal problems,
we can't say whether it was halfway written or not. We can just say it ain't finished. I don't know how much it is.
Do you know what
I can't just say? On? You can't just say like, oh, the dude's got personal problems, so it is not halfway finished. Like, I don't know a number or anything like that. It just ain't finished. And it doesn't seem like it's anywhere near getting done.
Anytime soon. True.
Yeah, there you go.
Despite this update on the Batman 2 script confirming that it is still a work in progress, there are a number of key reasons why Abby's latest comments aren't all that concerning. To begin with, if principal photography isn't meant to start until the end of 2025, there is still plenty of time for Reeves to complete the screenplay and give the cast enough time to get ready. Given the commercial success behind the Batman, there is no way Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios would choose to scrap a sequel. I will say this. The movie made like, what, $720 at the box office. Its budget was like $200 million. If you factor in how much marketing they probably had to pump into that thing,
it made money. It did not spend $500 million on fucking advertisement.
Good Lord, I hope not.
You also have to remember a lot of Batman and Superman, when they put money into marketing, you also got to remember that other properties pay a lot to have that iconic branding, and the outside sources pay for a lot of that advertisement.
Oh yeah.
Space. That does happen. And I mean, it happened. As much as I am not a fan of Man of Steel, like
at all,
a lot of advertisement was paid for. So, and people don't want to admit it, but it was. And just whether you like the movie or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's what it is. So, I mean, because you look at it like when you put Batman or Superman in something where back then $1 billion was rated as successful. Nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like they would barely break even. They would kill to have the 800 million or the 700 million that Justice League made or whatever, right? They would kill for. Imagine if like Captain America made 700 or 800 million. They would be like, this is the biggest Captain America movie that ever happened. It's like, that's what I'm saying. So like, and when you have characters that, I've always said it's hard to beat the Trinity. It's very hard as in terms of iconicism. It's
but
very
Patty
hard.
Jenkins sure did try with 84.
Oh, she did. Oh my God. Dude.
She did her best work on that one. I'll give her that one.
Well, I'm just saying the character in general, not the movie.
Yeah.
For outsider endorsement. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I see what you're saying.
It would make more sense that you would see that than you would say like any of the other characters of movies that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Captain America might be one of them because of the movie itself, but you're not going to see that type of advertisement for Ant-Man or, Captain Marvel or stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. All I'm bringing up is like, since studios have been known to like lie about their budgets and how much they've been making, it's like,
for sure.
I don't know, but hey, if it was a huge success, I saw the numbers. It's you could make the argument, but hey, if they consider a success enough, because they'll probably see it as an investment of like, okay, if it made 720 and we make a sequel, the sequel might be making like 920. They're kind of
even if it doesn't, I'm telling you, I think the numbers, if they make anything over 700 million, you got to think like the movies that have been out, except for the outliers like Deadpool and Wolverine or Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, but those are also Wolverine's huge. And it was and Deadpool had good faith for two movies that were very well done.
Yeah.
For moviegoers. Ryan Reynolds is super popular. You put him and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine when he wasn't supposed to do that character again. Like that's right there. I mean, that's huge in itself. And many people would get behind that. And with Spider-Man, I mean, that just goes like, look how long Spider-Man was #1 in the comics. Like, for how long? We knew that it was either going to be Spider-Man or Batman for how many
and I think the
years in a row.
conflicting thing that comes at this now is, I know what James Gunn has said. You heard what he said about the whole Elseworld story thing. But
Yes.
I also feel this: plans always change when money gets involved.
Yes.
Yeah. And if they
Plans
see how
always
much
change.
money they're making with whatever they're doing, all their plans are going to change.
That's
whether
what I'm
it's
saying. I'm
successful or
wondering
not.
if they're waiting for Superman to
They
say
have to be.
it says anything substantial. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Like, I know I'm going to be seeing Superman at least twice, just because I know I'm going most likely by myself the day early when they have it here.
I'm
on
going
the
on Thursday. Whenever it drops, I'm going Thursday.
And I know my wife, because she usually works Thursdays. So I know me and my son will be seeing it on Thursday, and she likes Superman, so she's definitely going to want to see it on the weekend. So I know at least I'm going twice.
Since Reeves was a major reason why the Batman universe has become such a success, which includes the franchise branching off to the small screen with HBO's The Penguin, the studios know how valuable he is to this iteration of The Dark Knight. It's also crucial to remember that Gunn and Safran have made it clear that a project only moves forward if the script is ready and of good quality. Even if it takes longer for the Batman 2 script to get completed, the wait will be worth it if it means that it leads to a sequel with a far better end result. Keep in mind, Matt Reeves said that about the first one, and it still came out with the issues it has. But nevertheless, I'm glad it came out.
And that's another thing too. With the success of Penguin, right? Do they have to force Penguin to be more in the next Batman movie?
Because Colin Farrell said he doesn't really like getting ready for all that stuff.
All that stuff. It takes forever. And like, do they have to put him in more even while introducing a new villain? Is it plausible, right, to introduce a new villain, or do they go and write this off with him versus Penguin? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's
what happened, man? You don't think the end result is Barry Keoghan's Joker?
Dude, that was like, I am so glad that got cut from the movie, because when I saw that scene, my buddy actually sent it to me, and he was like, wait, look at this thing. What the fuck is it? He's like a burn victim.
I'm glad that so it was like, they shouldn't have, that scene needed to be deleted. That was an abysmal piece of garbage.
That was terrible.
From everything,
right, and I agree. I agree. Orange Avenger. I totally agree. Mr. Freeze, if it's done, like, it could be great, but with the way that the WB and Warner Brothers does things, when they saw the success of that, do they key away from that, or do they extend it, like only have it sparsed in there and maybe lead up to a third movie, as in the trilogy? What's up, Z? And or do they go right into him versus Penguin because of how successful that was? Those are decisions that those idiots make. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, like, do they do that, or do they totally ruin it, make the Penguin and another villain be the main focal point of, the villains in the movie, and do like a Batman Returns and screw everything up?
From everything Abby stated about the progression of the Batman 2, there is really nothing to be concerned about where the sequel is going. Even Pattinson himself has stated that he knows what the Batman 2 story is going to be, meaning that the script is definitely further along than some may give Reeves credit for, even if it's not finished yet. Hopefully, there will be exciting updates of the Batman 2 over the next few months. So I'll ask you, man, because we know a lot about Batman ourselves here from comic books as well. Where do you think the Batman 2 goes? So people said Hush. People said Mr. Freeze is the big one. We know Colin Farrell's probably not suiting up again for Penguin for a while.
No, that's not true, because anybody will do anything when
if they give him like a fat load of money, he'll just
comes up. Yes. That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Because of the success of this, you got to think, like, what Marvel show was successful off of a movie as much as the Penguin was talked about and as successful as that?
Moon Knight.
But that didn't come off of a movie, and it wasn't.
Miss Marvel was successful because the Disney MCU shills told me it was. No, but like, I think there is a lot of potential here. But like you said, it all comes down to the business decisions that James Gunn and Peter Safran make pending the results and the success of Superman and potentially Supergirl that's going to come out in 2026.
Is that even like be honest though, dude? Is that a determining factor? Supergirl, like, because here's the thing: if Superman does shit, do you think Supergirl is the thing to pull them out of the super spiral?
Well, I will say this. It happened for the previous universe. The people gave the universe 2 chances with Man of Steel and BVS. I feel like if there's 2 bad movies in a row, the icing on the cake for Supergirl would be the
dude. The second movie was Batman and Superman, not Supergirl.
No. I don't disagree. I'm just saying, like, if you give one movie a chance and it's not good, and the other one comes out and it's also not good, I think at that point would be gone. But no, I see what you're saying.
I just don't know. I just don't know their mind process, because like the stuff that they do is so bizarre.
If they just put this universe in the DCU and they just had it all connected, it wouldn't be doing this problem. This is why Elseworld stuff can be kind of tacky, because you're dealing with main continuity, alternate continuity, and it gets really convoluted with
This is also why, like I said, I think we talked about this the last time I was on. Like, if I was doing this, I wouldn't be putting like Supergirl and Clayface and those things. It would literally be Superman first.
Yeah,
like Batman or Wonder Woman. I know that's how it happened before, but we would also have a plan in place. Like, I would have a plan in place. I don't know if they do. They say they do, right? But the things that we keep hearing, oh, well, this movie got pushed back or this got canceled, or you know what I mean? And then you have like an authority movie. Like, who gives a shit? I understand that he got lightning in a bottle with the Guardians. I understand it, but that's not for every fucking franchise. That's not possible. You can't write 4 Guardians for different franchises. Like, it just doesn't work. And I agree with Orange Avenger. Like, Dick Grayson does need some justice in the movies.
Yeah, and we're counting like, okay, so I understand James Gunn wants to do all these different projects with DC and everything. I understand. I get it. I like the dedication, I like the aspiration, but I think we should be at a point, because remember how we did I think we talked about it before about all the plans that he's talked about. How about take things one step at a time? Because that was a problem with the last DCEU. They announced so much shit. Remember that Jeff Johns, Zack Snyder little video? They announced all these plans: Flashpoint, Justice League Part 1, 2, and 3. Then a lot of that didn't even happen. How about just take it one step at a time, see where it goes, see where the audience wants to put their money at? Because,
yes. And I don't have a problem with them having a plan, right? The problem I have with the plan is not focusing on the characters first that will bring people to the movies. That's the thing. Like, if you bring up the movies listed and like, why is Batman like 4th or 5th? Like, that does not make sense.
Wonder Woman's not even a part of the slate.
That doesn't make any sense.
No Flash solo movies.
Green Lantern is a TV show.
That one you could make the argument for, but I see your point.
That's fine. But guess what? If you made him as important as the other characters and you made a good movie out of it, hello.
You know how DC are scarred from that.
If you already had like
Ryan
2
Reynolds,
or 3
that's it. Yeah,
good movies, and he's right. They want to copy the MCU when and it doesn't make sense to me, because
the first slate has no Flash movie. Flash is not a part of it. You don't have anything for like Hawkman or Green Arrow or Martian. Or not Martian. Sorry.
That's the shows. Those are the shows.
See, those are shows. But hey, man, we're getting Amanda Waller. That they scrapped that. No one wanted to see Amanda Waller show at all. But yeah, like, I think his priorities are so off. But I mean, to be fair, if they do end up working out and you do get good stuff out of it, people will go like, you know what? I don't like these decisions, but they did end up resulting in some good products, which is like, but that's just hoping they do. That's hoping. It's like,
even if it's good, right? Even if it's good, like say Superman does really well, and the next, but you're on such a high from Superman, and then the next movie is another it's Supergirl. Like, fuck, dude, no.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
I tell people this: just because an idea ends up working out in the long term doesn't mean it was a good, well thought out idea. Because keep in mind, the reason why all the DC fans right now are eating up these whole like plans with the Batman and all this stuff is like they've never had anything like this before. That's why they're saying it's good. But all these DC fans on Twitter told The Rock, "Oh, we love you, man. We're gonna go see your movie." Black guys, The Rock couldn't even make Black Adam get $400 million. Like, to me, guys, I don't know why you guys lie to people. Just say if you don't like an idea. It's not the end of the world to tell someone you don't like their idea. Like all the fans of DC on Twitter are like, yeah. I know people rag on Grace Randolph for this. Grace Randolph literally said DC fans on Twitter will tell everyone they like the ideas of what DC are doing. Then when the movie drops or a show, no one watches it because they're just fucking liar. None of you liked Blue Beetle. None of you even knew who he was. That's why you didn't go watch it.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's not a movie. That's a show. That's a show when you already have established characters.
Illegal immigration.
What you do, well, God damn it. What you do if you want these shows, right? You have that. That's why I said if Superman was just Superman, right, and not Mr. Terrific and these. If it was just Superman, and say at the end or even 3/4 through the movie, those characters were introduced. That's where you can make the show because they were in the big thing. But when they're an actual part of the movie, and a big part, supposedly, that takes away from the massive character that you're trying to get over. And there's as many people like Superman, that's as many people who don't. And that's just true. Yeah. Like it's and I can't.
Of Twilight Boy, hopefully he'll be back for Batman very soon to sparkle in the dark. Oh God. So yeah, hopefully the Batman 2 ends up coming out for you guys anytime soon. I doubt it. Like I think this movie's probably coming out 2028, maybe later, given whatever situation's going on with Matt Reeves. We'll see how
2070.
It'll come. The Batman 2 will exist.
Batman 2, in Parkinson's disease.
The Batman Part 2 will come out when we get the real version of David Ayer's Suicide Squad. That's when it will come out, which is never. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. All right, got to wrap it up here in about 2 minutes. I got to get to my next one-on-one. Then I got to start packing for tomorrow.
Or you could just leave like really long, thought out comments.
No. Okay, so people said late. Okay, so if they start filming, because keep in mind, we don't know when the script's done. They literally said they're not going to do anything until the script's done. That's why I'm saying 2028. Because if he's not done, guys, and it's already halfway through the year, you have to cast people. You have to get insurance.
They'll have most of the cast, bro. The 2028's a little bit ridiculous.
If they keep delaying it, maybe 2027. Maybe, I'll say.
I mean,
no way 2026. No way. Absolutely no way.
Well, if the script gets done by the end of the year, we're not even halfway through the year.
Oh, true. Yeah. People are going to forget about the Batman by the time the sequel releases. I think with Batman, anybody care. I think with Batman, anyone usually pretty much cares about it, generally speaking.
But they could. I mean, they. I think it. Like I honestly believe a lot of this depends on Superman.
It's true. Is there anything else you want to go over before we leave?
No. You better live cast during the car ride.
I will probably.
And you better live cast when you're there.
What if a girl's blowing me in the truck?
Dude, that is so not gonna happen. Unless you like pay a hooker for the week and bring it with you.
God, women.
Dude, that's a fantastic comment, by the way.
That's what they should do, but they won't do that because it's DC and they're known for making no good ideas.
She said, okay, bye, gentlemen. I'm gonna watch a movie with my future ex-husband. Because I'm telling you, dude, you live stream in the car. I'm definitely coming on for that. You live stream whenever you show up there. Oh, I'm definitely getting on that.
God, man.
100%.
What in the world's going out? These people. The world's crazy. But no, I'll be out there, Vegas. Given right when I get off work. I hope I don't stay. I shouldn't be staying the max time. Usually if it's Wednesday, I'm usually told that I have to finish relatively in 2 hours, which is good. I told my boss, I don't want to stay here longer. If you say 2 hours, I will make it 2 hours. I'm going to leave, So we'll probably leave around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock max, get out there like 5. James said we're going to go to the comic book store on Thursday, so that's fine. But if I don't see anything there, I'll just wait to come home and just order my stuff when I'm at home.
You're leaving at 2:00 your time. That's perfect, dude. Because I get off work at 2:00 your time.
You can't talk to a white man.
I can literally turn from there and go like this. Well, how you doing, MSK? How's it going? Oh, I see that blow up hooker behind you. I don't want to
I'm just pointing out
the BJs that you're getting.
I'll put some anal beads in her. How about that?
Well, as long as you're connected through your pee hole, you'll be fine.
That's just disgusting.
Well, I mean, you started it. And
this man said he ate 8-year-old peanut butter with tortillas. That might be the single.
Hey, those tortillas had mold spots on them that I cut out.
That is the single most disgusting thing you've ever told me.
Well, dude, I was poor, and I had no food.
You know what's more disgusting than that? Coca-Cola coffee. That tastes like that tastes like there's Coca-Cola flavored coffee. They're in like every single supermarket. That is literally. If you went outside and licked the brick wall of a building, that's what it would taste like. Literal horse shit. It tastes like death.
So bricks are made out of horse shit?
Oh, guys. I hate this man. So
I've always wondered what bricks were made out of, but
if you lick the concrete if you lick the sidewalk, that's what that shit tastes like.
Dude, I don't want to lick any sidewalk. But if I was going to lick a sidewalk, it definitely wouldn't be where you live.
Oh God, no, you don't. There's a lot.
I would say you have a lot of foot traffic.
Oh God, so
I have a lot of nothing going on outside of my. Oh, here we got to put this up again so people can see where I live.
We'll see.
Look at that.
His
tree fell in my amazingly white picket fence neighborhood, right outside my house. Look at that.
So. Drinking Coca-Cola coffee is like eating a crayon. Yeah, don't do that, or don't eat glue. Okay, so next week we'll review something.
Wait, you don't like mac and cheese?
Okay, so we're not doing this. That's gaslighting on the chat part. So next week I'll let Laps know later on this week what we're going to review for Tuesday, and then what topic. We're covering the Power Ranger topic next week, and then we're going to cover.
And then what are we doing tomorrow?
Nothing. I'm out of town.
I'm telling you now. Listen, I don't know if you've ever messaged this man on X, right? Before you go, I know you got to go.
Oh, God.
But here we go. This is a conversation between me and MSK, where I try to tell him things like about stuff like comic books and stuff like that. And I said, hey, I said, did you happen to pick it up? I think this and Flash started better than Absolute Superman or Wonder Woman. He said, yeah, I got only those two on order, blah, blah, blah. And he talked about Martian Manhunter. And I said, look, I love the story. I said, the art was okay. It's only weird in that one spot. And I showed him the art. All he wrote was, oh. And I said, good in-depth answer, real emotion behind it. See you at 4. Yeah, I'll have AVA 2 read.
Short, simple, sweet.
I talk about things and you don't even acknowledge me talking about them.
I have to improve at it. I agree. I have to be better at, responding.
Absolute Green Lantern is a dope book. It's crazy as fuck. You should read it. Oh, fuck.
Did that not make you laugh, though?
I'll be at home watching UFC and boxing. I'll probably be banging my wife. What?
I'm not gonna lie. You were probably laughing your ass off when those messages came through. And at that point, fist bump, bro.
You better be on tomorrow. I'm telling you.
So next week, I'll let you guys know what we're doing.
Go live in the car. Why? Why is that so hard?
We are.
Then why can't I be on?
There's no way, right? Because if we're live on the phone, no. Because if I get out of the application on YouTube when you're mobile streaming, it stops the stream.
So there's this thing. It's awesome, right? It's called Skype, right?
Who has?
So whenever you share or anything, Messenger on Facebook, right?
Oh,
so then when you share your screen, you can see both of us. you'll be in the big window and I'll be in the little window. Or you
try
can
to
just
see-
catch me in audio wise. People don't need to see my face.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll just have you call. I'll just have you like call James or me, and we'll just. Okay. God, man, this man's white rage is coming out like usual. But next week, I'll let you guys. Next week we'll be reviewing a big book, and then we'll be going to the Power Rangers topic.
Yeah, guaranteed. We were supposed to do Hush like a month ago. We'll be reviewing a big book. You know what it's going to end up being? I didn't read anything this week. Do you have any topics you'd like to discuss? And then I'll bring up a topic, right? And then when we start the show, he'll be like, Lapsed wanted to talk about this, and it will have nothing to do with anything that I said. But there's your show next week, everybody.
Yep. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for the show that we do. God. See, this man was laughing at these messages. This man's lying to you guys. He's trying to do that leftist victim sympathy that Joe Biden was doing. God, man.
I'm a leftist, let me tell you.
Man, for sure voted for Kamala Harris. Tell you that right now.
I definitely did. You got me. You got me.
Okay, you voted for Bernie Sanders.
If I don't talk to you, have a safe trip.
Wow. I hate you.
What?
So we'll see you next week. We'll see you guys for our show that we do on Tuesday next week. Big book, big topic. Wife's back's getting blown the fuck out. And thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.
My Twitter is
everybody.
Comic Fan.